Hello and welcome to That Shooting Show. My name is Steve Anderson. I am your humble host. I want to let you know we are a proud service of Walther Firearms, who is not only the title sponsor of this program, but also the title sponsor of AndersonShooting.com. And I want to let you know that the Walther Steel Frame PDP is the finest production style competition firearm that I've ever handled. And they know it too because it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it, that's going to be your fault. But it won't be your problem because they'll take it back and give you a full refund within 30 days. I don't think anybody else is doing it because I don't think anybody else is making a production-style gun that's anywhere near as good. It's everything you love about your metal gun without light primer strikes. Oh my goodness, could you imagine? And not having to decock the hammer every time and scaring poor Steve to death on the range every time you do it? No, doesn't have any of those problems. Walther PDP steel frame is the one you want, I promise. Targets USA manufactures the finest steel targetry on the planet. It is portable, it is affordable, it is the very best. CR Speed makes the finest gun handling gadgetry you can wrap around your waist or anywhere else you want to wrap it around. It's that good. Unsupported race holsters, that's dumb. That is on the list, but unsupported race holsters are dumb. Get you a supported race holster and don't have your gun fall on the ground. It happens in every class. Unsupported race holsters, guns fall out. It's not cool. Hunter's HD Gold, as you know, is the only eyewear that I wear, and I are wearing it perpetually. And I am not aware that I wear any other kind of eyewear. It's just that good. I mean, just telling you. You can have crappy vision, you can have scratched up range glasses, or you can get Hunter's HD Gold or the Ruby Red, which is better only in really bright sunlight, or the Active Blue, which is really good in all different lighting conditions. But you need to be seeing what you need to see through Hunter's HD Gold. That's all there is to it. Outdoor Dynamics remanufactures the finest competition ammunition you can dispense from a Freedom C dispenser. Putting up with unreliable ammo is dumb. It's dumb. Go to Outdoor Dynamics, get ammo that works, and you're good. Shooting Sports Innovations makes so many cool things, so much cool stuff. I have a hard time telling you what to tell you about, but go to shootingsportsinnovations.com. Vast cornucopia of shooting sports accessories, hence the name. Shooting Sports Innovations, hence the name. And of course, the AMG-lab.com Commanderson timer continues to turn heads and blow minds, not with the exaggerated lead time, but with a timer that works. People, I know there's other timers out there that put the time into the tablet, but it continues to blow people's minds. Oh, you got, it's, what? Huh? It's good. It's right there? Yeah, it's right there. It works pretty good. All right, so what are we doing here? Okay? I got a letter yesterday about point shooting. Point shooting, okay? You guys can see the letter. It's printed out very nicely, and I'll read it to you. Steve, I'm a fairly new competitor sitting in low C class, and I heard you briefly chatting on one of the Brazil podcasts about point shooting. I'll do some research on this term, but I thought maybe this would be a podcast topic to cover, as I was, until a few days ago, completely unfamiliar with this term. Let's keep it that way. Forget you ever heard those two words put together. It's dumb. I've been mostly shooting limited optics and have done maybe 12 or so matches over the past few years. Shooting is more of a hobby for me. I'm not looking to be a national champ or anything, but I would certainly like to do what I can do to get out of C class. Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Come see me. I am the champion, the undisputed reigning champion of getting people out of C class. If you do a few simple things, C class will be as bad a memory as your ex-wife or your first apartment. I mean, it's going to be great. You don't need to be stuck in C class, but you do need to do a couple of things, and I'll tell you exactly what they are. You either do them or you won't. You'll either get out of C class or you won't. That's up to you, but I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Okay, savings. Oh, and by the way, you know what happens when people do what I tell them to do? They go from new shooter to national champion in 2 years. That's the Joey Sauerland model. That's what I can provide, right? All you have to do is everything I tell you to do. And to the extent that you can do it, the extent that you will do it, you have time, lifestyle supports it, you can go as far as you want. I've got this figured out. Saving time by not using the optic on close range targets seems to make sense. No, it does not. It is dumb. It is stupid. The red dot is the greatest aiming technology in the history of the world, except for maybe a laser guided missile. But it's almost a laser guided missile. Check it out, bro. Listen to this. The bullet's gonna go where the dot is when you press the trigger, as long as you don't disturb. No, I don't need that. No. I don't care if this modern device put the bullet where the sight with no rear front. No, I don't care, but I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna point and shoot them close ones. It's dumb. It's catastrophically ignorant and stupid. Don't do it ever again. And if you haven't started doing it, for the love of Pete, don't start. This is the greatest advancement in handguns since the double stack magazine. And you're too good for it? You don't have 500ths of a second? Come on. Okay. Letter writer, your name's not Kenny, so it's not a letter, Kenny. I'm not mad at you. I promise. And I'm not mad at anybody. I'm just so passionate about saving people years of struggle that this kind of insane nonsense comes out. And I'm not going to stand for it. It's dumb. If it doesn't make sense to cover, no worries. Just wanted to send this message while it was on my mind. Well, you're on my mind too, and that's super important to me. Happens all of the time. It's pretty much nonstop because I want to help you. I want your life to be better. I want you to have less stress. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be safe. And I want you to be happy. That's what I want for you. That's why I'm here for you. Here we go. So, this inspired me to make 12 pages. So strap in, buckle up, get a snack, go to the bathroom, put me on pause. I'm pretty sure I can get through this without having to take a leak again. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so number one, my name is Steve Anderson. I wrote 20 years ago the book about dry fire. The reason I know that is because if there had been another one out there, I would have bought it, and I would not have written this one. Every other dry fire book on the planet is derivative of this, and it's fine. It'd be nice of them to say, oh, you know what, I got some of these ideas from Anderson, and then I sort of expanded them. They don't do that. They just write another dry fire book. Oh, here's dry fire book number 17. Well, they all came from this one. Every single one of them. Okay? And this one is still awesome. Okay? I'm not saying these other books don't have good content in them. I'm not saying that at all. I flipped through a couple of them and they look great. However, this one is the first one and is still the only one that you need. With a little creativity, we'll get back to that in a minute. Okay? This is available on Amazon, by the way, Refinement Repetition. So, I went from A-class production to open class Grandmaster in 9 months. And I did it with reps and reps and reps of dry fire. And I did it with par times, right? Because in open, you got to be fast. And we don't need the timer to pick up shots. It's not necessary. So forget about that. That is on the list. It's not necessary. You use par times. The second tone tells you how long it took you to do the thing, and that's it. The other reason you don't want your timer to pick up clicks is you're going to drop the hammer on a bad sight picture to beat the par time. That's dumb. But you're going to do it anyway, because I can't stop you. I'll just keep trying. I'll tell you what. Okay, so that's me. That's what I did. Okay, I was on the Super Squad, my first Nationals, production and open. Had a very, very good competition career, which may be resuming. I've already started Steel Challenge training. I've got a couple of knee issues going on. I'm working with my nurse about if the knees are going to be okay, and we'll talk about that injury here very shortly. May dip the toes back into the jacuzzi of USPSA. It all depends on these knees. If I can't do it 100%, I'm not going to do it. And if I'm risking constant re-injury, I'm not going to do that either. But I am going to be doing a lot of Steel Challenge. I have some thoughts on that too. We'll get to that. So that's who I am. That's what I do. I've been teaching shooting full time for 7 years. I've been doing this podcast for roughly 10 years. Okay? I'm certified by Lanny Basham. Look him up, to teach mental management. Mental management is the way to win the Olympics. It's like, hey, I have given you a how-to guide on how to win the Olympics. And somebody says, well, I like some of that. Yeah, I probably do. I don't know. I'll do 3 or 4 of those things. I'm not going to do all of them because I don't want to win the Olympics. I don't want it that bad. I want to keep doing dumb stuff. I want to keep touching the stove. I want to keep finding my own way. You could if you want to. You could. Or you could learn exactly how to win the Olympics. If you wanted to. The information is there. The book is good. The guided tour that I provide is better because you can't ask a book a question. You can't ask the book, like, for example, this letter couldn't write this book about point shooting. There's nothing in this book about point shooting, but this letter can't ask about it. So he's tempted to go do dumb stuff. Nothing in here. Hey, here's how to make Grandmaster. Oh, let's see. How to make Grandmaster. I'm flipping through here. Oh, there's nothing in there about point shooting. That's because it's dumb. Okay, moving on. Okay, so point shooting. When I was in Brazil, we do a stage in every class which features 3 close targets moving laterally across the range. I call them the 3 wise men or the 3 pirates or whatever funny name I come up with that day. And this guy is point shooting and double tapping. 6 shots. Targets are close. He takes 3 mics. 1, 2, 3 mics. That's 45 penalty points. 45. Now you tell me, point shooting advocates, did he save enough time to make up for 45 penalty points? I'll wait. Yeah, I didn't think so. Well, he just didn't do it right. Well, whatever. But he didn't say, so we did the calculation. I don't have my phone with me because I didn't want to be disturbed by it. Try to do the math. 45 divided by 9. I don't know. Oh, anyway, take 45 points divided by a hit factor of 4. That's how much time he had. So 45 divided by 4, ballpark at 10 seconds. Okay? He had 10 seconds to make that shot and improve his hit factor. 10. Do you save 10 seconds by point shooting ever? If you think you need to point shoot, I think you need to dry fire. And we can agree to disagree. If you don't want to dry fire to get a good dot presentation quick enough for close targets, that's on you. Point shooting is also on you. Not dry firing is dumb. Point shooting is dumb. Dry fire is the solution for anybody who thinks they need to point shoot. You are never going to save enough time. If you dry fire on a regular basis, you are never going to save up enough time to even make up for a Charlie. And since you're already on my YouTube channel, you can look up, I did a test, point shooting versus dot shooting, USPSA carry optics. Go to the Anderson Shooting YouTube channel. You'll see the test I did. Okay? Even at 5 yards, point shooting was not as good at dot shooting. 7 yards, it wasn't even close. 5 yards, it was a little bit closer, but dot shooting was still superior. Right? Busting a delta because you're too good, you're too smart to put the dot in the middle of the target. Like, it's like, okay, oh, I got my red dot. Woo, all right. I got my limited optics gun. All right, I'm ready to go. Ooh, what's this say in the owner's manual? Oh, hang on. I think the bullet goes where the dot is when I press the trigger. Nah, I don't need that. I mean, why even turn it on? Why zero it? If you're not going to use it, what's it even doing on your gun? I mean, what are we doing here? What in the absolute world are we doing here? I watched a young lady in Maine. We did the Can You Count classifier in class. Okay, it's very close. It's 5 reload, 5 on targets you can touch. I mean, if I've got pretty long arms, I can almost touch the closest target. And somebody in the class told her to point shoot it. And she got 4 deltas. Oh, 4 deltas. We'll do the math. Let's say it's a 10. 4 deltas. That's 30. Let's see, 3 points down. That's 12 points down. You're never going to save enough time point shooting to make up for a delta. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Somebody tell me, what are we doing? We're doing dumb stuff. Had a shooter in Brazil. I set up a very similar stage. 2 targets, 4 meters away. Very generous no shoot on one of them. Very generous. Okay? Partial, let's call it. We'll get to that in a minute. And on his first run, he's thinking about his draw and his grip. Oh, targets are close. I need a really fast draw. I need a really great grip so I can point shoot. His hit factor was a 2.43. He finished, this is the best, technically, he's the best shooter there. He finished dead last on that stage. Thinking about his draw, thinking about his grip, and point shooting. Because he was thinking about his draw, he was thinking about his grip, he forgot it was 3 shots per target. So, pop, 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 oh crap! Oh, I didn't do the thing! Oh my goodness, I only fired 2 shots! I gotta fire 3! Pop, pop, point, shoot, point, shoot, point, shoot, Charlie Delta, brain fart, trigger freeze, you name it. And then I said, okay, let's look at a small spot on the target. And when you do that, when you look at something small, it lowers the number of things that you're thinking about. It helps you focus. It's almost like focusing on something prevents you from thinking about other things. Imagine that. So we did. And he point shot it. And he got an 8 hit factor. And I said, okay, tell me where you're aiming. He goes, I never saw my dot. I'm point shooting. Oh, that's interesting. So the conclusion that I draw from that, I'm a reasonably intelligent man. In fact, I was recently told I'm very intelligent. That's great. That makes me more attractive. Even better. Told by, I was like, okay. I think that these Charlies were caused by point shooting. That's just this weird conclusion that I'm coming to, because here's what I'm thinking. You got a device on your gun that tells you exactly where the bullet's going to go, and you're going to disregard it, especially in the presence of a partial target that happens to have a no-shoot right there ready to smite ya. Smite me, almighty smiter! I'm the point shooter. I wish to be smitten. I am smitten with being smiten because I'm dumb. No, this guy, he was a great guy and a great shooter. But this is old, tired dogma. And I am going to run my karma over that dogma. I'm going to do it. I'm a dog lover. I'm not a dogma lover. Okay? Okay. Point shooting is dumb. Don't do it. The other thing that's dumb, this is number 3 of 127, by the way, so buckle up. Thinking about subconscious skill makes it conscious. Okay, your training moves the decisions that you have made to the subconscious where the conscious mind is no longer required. But if you think about a subconscious skill, you have to relearn it again on the clock. That's dumb, okay? Trust your subconscious skill. Trust your speed. Pick something else to think about because you can't not think about it. Right? If you're thinking about your draw, you can't turn that off, man. You know this is true. If you're thinking about something, she tells you to quit thinking about it, you're thinking about it more. However, if she gives you a list of things to do, if she gives you a honey-do list, you are no longer thinking about the honey pot, you're thinking about the honey-do. And it works. It works the same way in shooting. It's like tying your shoes. Say it out loud for me. Somewhere in your Subaru, do you use all your fingers to tie your shoes? Do you know? What does your ring finger do? Well, let's use this one. What does your ring finger do when you tie your shoes? You don't know. It's because you don't tie your shoes. You watch yourself tie your shoes. And we had a competition in Brazil during mental management. The 3 most competitive guys there, we had a shoe tying contest. One guy jumped the gun, and then he got in a hurry and made a careless mistake. The guy in the middle had a strategy error to reduce the number of loops. He had a better stage plan. Yes, his shoes are still tied, but he had less to do. He wins. You've got to trust subconscious skill. And you know this. I do my best thinking when I'm not, I do my best shooting when I don't think and I don't care. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? You just go stop there? I do my best shooting when I'm not thinking, I don't care. Okay. Have you ever thought about attempting to duplicate that in any way? Or is it just this happy accident? Well, I got lucky. I went out there and I wasn't thinking and I didn't care and it was good. Okay, try that at Nationals. Go to Nationals, don't think and don't care. I'll wait to hear the results. I can show you how to duplicate that environment, but we have to use the right terms. This is why I'm so rigid in my terminology, because I'm trying to teach another language. And if we don't use the right words, we don't use the same language, we can't communicate. It's subconscious performance, people, and my imitators are, you're going to start hearing it from the backbenchers. You're going to start hearing it from people charging some number of dollars per month to rebrand my drills and give them to you. Don't do that. Listen to me. You can do that if you want. But every single one of them, I know who they are, and I'm going to call them out by name here before too long. Every single one of them came to me to get a free class. And then they become instructors, which is fine. I love that for them. But if you're going to take my stuff, put my name on it. That's why it's not called the Anderson Reload Drill. It's called the Briquette, because when I get something from somebody, that's why it's not Steve Anderson's mental management class. It's Lanny Basham's mental management class. And you borrow from another instructor, and you know you are, and you know it. Give them credit. We don't mind if you borrow, but we don't like it when you steal. And I'm really close to naming names. So that's where we're at. So, thinking about subconscious skill, controlling speed, number 4. If you stop listening to this program, right, if you're like, I can't handle this guy, he's on fire today, that's fine. Listen to number 4 first. The conscious control of speed and competition is going to be 100% an error every single time you do it. It's dumb. Don't do it. Do not consciously control your speed. Oh, you're telling me not to go fast. No, I'm not. I'm telling you not to go fast or slow. I'm telling you to entertain the novel idea of using the red dot on your pistol to put the dot where you want the bullet to go as quickly as you can see it. That's what I'm asking you to do. Just try it. Just try it. Well, it'll be slow. Well, okay, then dry fire. If you think putting the red dot in the middle of the target takes you too long, guess what you can do? You can dry fire to get quicker at putting the dot in the middle of the target. You could do that, but you won't, because you'd rather buy a gadget. You'd rather buy an Ace VR or a Mantis or get 12% grip in your pinky so you can double tap, rip, and splits. But what you won't do is put the rig on and go to work. That's what you won't do. And that's all you need to do, okay? The conscious control of speed and competition will always be an error, and you know this. Rush, try, hurry. You make mistakes. Slow down and get your hits. You make mistakes too. And if you have an accuracy problem, haven't even fixed it. You're just slow with an accuracy problem. The conscious control of speed, by definition, prevents subconscious skill from coming out. So anytime you consciously control your speed, you are negating your training. It's just like the doc. Oh, I got all this training in my subconscious. Yeah. Well, I don't really know what that means because, well, I just shoot without thinking, but I can't do that because I'm always thinking too much. Subconscious training. Hell, I'll just go fast. Okay. Changing your stage plan is dumb. It's dumb. It creates brain farts. A brain fart is when you don't know what to do. And that's because you considered 2 different stage plans. You got reps of both of them. You waited too long to make a decision because you couldn't make a decision because you think it's important, because you think, oh man, I got to stand with my hand on the wall and I got to put my foot 12 feet over there, but I've never driven a gun like that. I don't know I'm going to do it. You think your stage plan is so great that it doesn't require good execution. You are wrong, and that is dumb. Choose early. Changing your stage plan is dumb. Number 6, deciding late and executing poorly. I need you to decide soon what you are going to do and then prepare well turned into propel. I'm just pulling your leg. All right, so when you decide late, again, you don't know what to do. You are never going to come up with a stage plan so brilliant that it doesn't require top-notch execution to be victorious. Similarly, unless you're new and you're doing dumb stuff, you are never going to do anything so dumb that brilliant execution won't make it competitive. You know this is true. You never get beat when you have a great execution of a B- plan, but you always get beat with a poor execution of an A+ plan. I heard it so many times in Portuguese, I'm like, bom pra carajo. What are we doing here? Like literally, what are we doing? How many times are we going to make this mistake? Choose a simple, dumb plan early and spend time preparing. Number 7, you have got to stop talking about your mistakes during the match. Oh, you're just telling me to ignore my mistakes. I'm not telling you to ignore them. I'm telling you to fix them and then quit talking about them. Because every single time you talk about a mistake, it happens again in your self-image. It becomes normal. Repetition of an idea creates normality. Think about the things in our culture that are normal that weren't normal 30 years ago. Repetition of those ideas caused them to become normal. Now they're normal, whether you like them or not. Okay? Every time you repeat the mistake, self-image repeats the mistake. This means it's normal for you to make the mistake. So if you want to keep making mistakes, you keep talking about them. I think it's dumb. Learn from it, think about the solution, and go forth and sin no more. Unreasonable comparisons. I'm a C-class shooter, and I just got beat by a master class shooter. Do you think? I'm not training. I just got beat by a guy that's training. Do you think? Come on, guys. If there's a class disparity, the higher class shooter is very likely to win. If there's a training disparity, the shooter that's training more is very likely to win. If there's a level of participation disparity, the shooter with the higher level of participation is very likely to win. If you don't like it, change those things. Change your class. Change your training disparity. Change your level of participation. Change your level. It was funny. If I had stuttered while I did that, I could have changed my level of precipitation. If you don't like those things, they're making you uncompetitive, change them. Just change them if you can and if you're willing to. We had a young lady in Brazil. She turned 20 years old on the day of class. And it was so cool. It's her 20th birthday, carry optic shooter. She wants to be high lady in Brazil, and she's going to be, by the way. She knows how to do it now. See, I showed her how to make it simple. I said, Duda, here's what I want you to do. I want you to create a subconscious stage plan with positive imprints, and then I want you to put the dot in the middle of the target. How great is that? And this 20-year-old girl beat every single person high overall, including 3 very good limited standard shooters shooting major. How did she do that? She did what I asked her to do. It's new for her. Her and her dad, she's inconsistent. She's hot and cold, good match, good stage, bad stage. Sound familiar? It's because you're doing different stuff. Inconsistent shooting comes from inconsistent thinking. So learn to shoot and think consistently, or keep screwing around. And you got to quit throwing hopers, guys. Number 9, throwing hopers. If you don't have time to make a good shot, when are you going to have time to do it over? So the difference between a good shot and a bad shot is 3 to 5 hundredths of a second. If you don't have that to see your dot or get a good shot, how much time do you have for a makeup? Yeah, that's what I thought. And did you save enough time to eat the mic? No, I don't think you did. I'm trying to see what that number says. Oh, okay, it's gigabytes. This is a long program, guys. That's what she said. It's going to be hard. That's what she said. But it's going to be worth it. That's what he said. Here we go. Number 10. A no reload stage plan is dumb. I got 24 rounds in the mag, and there's 24 rounds in the stage. I'm going to go through it, not reload, and I'm going to shoot like I'm in a rage. No, you're not. You're going to shoot slow and careful, especially if there's steel. A legal, well-designed stage is going to, by definition, have a place to reload. Okay? Oh, and what if you have a malfunction? Oh, that's right. You didn't plan a reload, so you don't know where to do one. You're screwed. I have not yet seen a stage where a reload couldn't be done with no competitive disadvantage. None. Maybe you could save half a second. Maybe. But I think every stage I've ever seen has a place to do a reload. So no reload stage plans are dumb. Oh, here's another one. I fired 3 rounds. This is a great place to reload, but I'm not going to do it because I don't drop mags that are almost full. Reload when it makes sense. Who cares how many rounds you've shot? Who cares how many rounds are in the mag? Reload when it makes sense, because ammunition problems are dumb. Ammunition management problems are dumb. Running the gun dry is dumb. Surprise standing reloads are dumb. Don't do that. And I'm not saying you guys are dumb. If you're doing these things, you don't know any better. That's why I'm going to do a 3-hour podcast to help you out a little bit, okay? And the imitators are taking notes, so you'll hear it from them too, but consider the source, right? You're going to be hearing about these things on social media very soon because my imitators are writing them down right now. Hope you can keep up. Ha ha! They're still writing down that that's what she said. They haven't even gotten to the good stuff. All right, are you blasting at Brown? Okay, and that brings up something very interesting. When I was in Brazil, I took this book with me because I'm doing a class with Kita Bussey. I think it's this weekend. Okay, so I took the book with me to refresh myself on her methodology. I read the book when it came out. It's been a while. And this time, because I've done a class with her, I took it a lot more seriously. The things that this woman knows, it's a crime that the world doesn't know the things that this woman knows. And one of the things she talks about is the quiet eye. When I first heard about it, I was like, oh, great. More neurological pathways. Can't wait to hear the plyometric disparity of my neurons. But I actually read the chapter with an open mind. It's very simple. Look at something small. It's what I just said. Looking at something small allows you to focus on it better. So my buddy Guilherme, he was like, oh, this is weird. I'm aiming at partials in the middle, but open, I'm just blasting out. Well, that would have been nice to know 3 years ago, buddy. But in Kita's book, it is written very eloquently, and there's vision drills you can do. You don't need to buy an app or anything else. You just need to get this book. We'll talk more about that in a minute because it's brilliant. It pains me to say that. It really does. But it's a brilliant book. And you know what I do? When I get an idea from somebody, I give them credit for it, right? It's not the Steve Anderson quiet eye drill. No, it's the one that Kita found from Jane somebody. Okay? Oh, and she does a really weird thing in this book. She credits her sources. She gives credit where credit's due. It's remarkable. Good grief. Okay, so pick a small spot. Look at the small spot during your walkthrough. That's the quiet eye. Read more about it in Smart Move. Researching training without training, number 13. I want you to take the number of minutes that you spend reading about shooting, posting about shooting, looking at other people posting about shooting, asking people questions about shooting. I want you to add that up. I want you to dry fire for twice as much time. So if you spend 30 minutes a day researching shooting or listening to podcasts, that's great. Double that, put the rig on, and dry fire. Because we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, classic movement errors. Number 1, gun low, body high. Okay? People want to go through fully erect with the gun flaccid. I want you to go the other way. I want the gun to be fully erect, and I want your body to be flaccid. I think I want to make sure I got that right with my euphemisms and my puns. Right? Yes, body low, gun high. And I want a straight line. Anywhere that gun goes, I want it to be in a straight line, more or less. And if you're interested in 10 other movement mistakes, you can read about them here in this book, Smart Move. Get the book now. If you don't have it and you're interested in reducing dead time, not having this book would be dumb. Because it is an excellent book. Smart Move by Kita, I think I'm pronouncing it right, Kita Bussey. All right, so let's see. Okay, technical instruction before and while shooting. What I need you to do is make silent suggestions to your body during the walkthrough and the visualization. Show your body what you want it to do as opposed to telling your brain what to tell your body to do. Because if you do that, you are giving your overeager conscious mind a task list, a honey-do list of things to do. And it will do them one at a time. It will also evaluate them one at a time. It will also send information to your self-image one at a time. Okay? Don't do that. In the competition, make silent suggestions to your body, and your body may or may not. If you've done those things before and they're subconscious, it'll happen. If you haven't done those things before and they're not subconscious, it won't happen. But you'll shoot better when you're not thinking about your body. Oh, number 16, overthinking while shooting is dumb. You wind up with a herky-jerky task list instead of a smooth execution of a subconscious stage plan. Okay? Overthinking, and it's very, very, very simple. Choose one thing. Thinking about nothing is not possible. However, thinking about one thing is. Not thinking about things is not possible. Thinking about something else is. And when you choose the right thing to think about, guess what you get? Everything else becomes, say it with me, imitators, subconscious, which is what happens when we're not thinking. Now, what about the not caring? Ooh, I've got a solution for that too. They just can't wait. I'm going to write this down, put it in my $19 a month monthly plan. I have to rename it though, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it. That's what they do. Okay. Overthinking at the match. Thinking about results will alter your effort level. Unless you believe you deserve the result that you're getting, then it won't. All you need to do, walk the stage, shoot the stage, repeat. And you must restrict your thinking to the current task. So everybody, I'm an overthinker. What does that mean? Well, I'm just an overthinker. Okay, that's great. What does that mean? Overthinking is thinking beyond the current task. That's it. That's all it is. Oh, you mean if I define something, I can solve it instead of just saying it over and over again like it's this curse I've got? Yeah, thinking beyond the current task. I've got so much on my mind right now. My life is so great. So many great things are happening to me. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. But I'm not thinking about those things. Until I said them, I'm restricting my thinking to the current task. Walk the stage, visualize the stage, shoot the stage by calling your shots with a singular focus. Number 18, I'm afraid my goals are unreasonable. I need to set a reasonable goal. That's fine. You do what you want. But a reasonable goal inspires reasonable change. Okay? I lost 12 pounds in 12 days when I went to Brazil. 12 pounds in 12 days because I had an unreasonable goal. So I behaved unreasonably to achieve an unreasonable goal. That's how it works. Okay? If I'd gone to Brazil and said, sure would like to lose a little bit of weight while I'm on a working vacation, that's a reasonable goal, is to lose a little bit of weight. I set an unreasonable goal, behaved unreasonably, and achieved it. Okay? Pretty simple. Now, you do what you want, okay? But don't be afraid of unreasonable goals. The only way a goal is unreasonable is if you are not willing or able to do the work to achieve it. But if you're willing and able to do the work, go for it. If Joey Sauerland can go from knuckle dragging fitness instructor to national champion in 2 years with my help and my guidance and my assistance, he's one of 6 people that have done everything I've told him to do. But Joey took it further. That's why he was able to do it faster. I'm going to tell you what to do, gang. If you want to reach your potential, I'm not going to hold anything back. I'll tell you exactly what to do. In a class, on a phone call, a mental map, I will tell you exactly what to do. But you won't do all of it. You'll do 60, 70, 80%, and that's fine. It doesn't bother me, but you will achieve 60, 70, or 80% of your potential. Okay? Do you really think I'd be doing this 10 years later if I didn't know what I was talking about? And I didn't invent any of this stuff. Well, the modern dry fire method, codified is better than invented. But at any rate, okay? I got this thing figured out. I want you to use mental management to become the human being that can achieve your goal. The mistake shooters make is they focus on the accomplishment without realizing or committing to what they need to do to achieve it. That's why I struggled losing weight. I wanted the number. When I got really obsessed with my daily routine, calories in, calories out, I lost 12 pounds in 12 days. Because I quit thinking about the number and I started thinking about living my life in such a way that would happen. Same thing with your shooting goal. You need to be living your life in such a way that will happen. And you're not. Otherwise, it would have already happened. And that's okay. That's okay. But please don't want something you're not willing to work for because it's very frustrating. It's not supposed to be easy. Number 19, quit chasing stuff. Shooters would rather buy things than do things. I need you to stop it because it's dumb. We have this grip paranoia. Well, I think you need to grip the gun like this. No, that's wrong. Got to lock my wrist. No, that's not right. Find a way to grip the gun that has the sights lift and return consistently every time as quickly as possible. Grip the gun that way. But if you think about your grip while you're shooting in competition, guess what you're not thinking about? Your sight picture. Now, the only way, and you're going to try this because you think you can outsmart it. It's fine. Go right ahead. I've not yet met the person that can do it. Thinking about grip while you're shooting in competition will only work if sight picture, trigger, and stage plan are 100% subconsciously automatic and reliable. Then it'll work. But if those 3 things are not subconsciously reliable, and I mean rock solid, I mean Viagra weekend rock solid. If they're not rock solid, it's going to be a problem. Okay? Gadgets. Quit buying gadgets. I mean, you can if you want. So the great thing about the ACE VR is it's inspiring people to practice who don't like to dry fire. And that's fine, but it's not necessary. You can achieve the same. Well, it won't be as fun. Okay, maybe getting better is not always going to be fun, but winning sure is fun. And if you like the ACE, use the ACE. It's fine with me. I'm just telling you, the gun you own and the timer you own, if you own one, is all you need. Quit buying gadgets. You can occlude the dot if you want to. I think it's pretty much a solution to a problem that very few people have, but it's a thing people can buy, and you can chase doubles and splits all you want to, but it's dumb. I have not yet seen the hit factor where taking a delta is worth it to rip a split. And I'd have to do the math. It would be a very, very high one. And on that same, okay, so the guy that wrote there's this guy put this thing on YouTube. He says, well, the 10 factor's 12, you need 20% deltas. Really? Really? Like you're going to go through there? Oh, here I am at the end of my stage. Oh, I haven't shot any deltas. Maybe the hit factor supports some deltas, but you're not going to shoot them on purpose. That would be dumb. But I digress. Dry Fire King is the greatest innovation in dry fire since this. And it's the only one you really need. Okay? All right, where are we? Dry Fire King. Okay. Oh, your own gun is the best. Number 20. Insisting on hit confirmation in dry fire is dumb and unnecessary. Your SIRT pistol that shoots the laser out of it, so you can see where the bullet went, is unnecessary and dumb. Anything that shoots a visible laser out is unnecessary and dumb because it trains you to look at the target for confirmation of your hits. That is slow. What do you mean? I can't look at the holes in the target. If you want to be slow, here's the irony. We're gonna rip a split. Okay, I got my 18 split. Now I gotta make sure I hit something. Well, I think that took longer than 0.18. What if you fired a 25 when the sights lifted and returned, knew it was a good shot, got the hell out of Dodge? That might be a little smarter. Okay? 21, worrying about dry fire comparisons. So the gap between live fire and dry fire is all about the kind of gun you are shooting and the distance to the target. Okay? An open gun on close targets, dry fire, live fire will be very similar. Okay, a production gun or a limited standard gun at 25 yards, dry fire will be very, very different. Okay, the gap is not relevant as long as they are both improving, so quit worrying about it. And if you really think that you can go to the range and live fire something as fast as you dry fire it unless you're touching the targets, that's dumb. Because in dry fire, you don't get to keep the splits. And that's great. You can pull the trigger as fast as you want in dry fire because you're seeing what you need to see if you are. So you can rip wicked splits in dry fire if the gun's not moving. Not a problem. But you don't try to duplicate that, right? That happens because you're seeing what you need to see. The gun's not moving, so you can do it. It's great. But guess what? If the gun moves, you can't pull the trigger as fast as you want. You have to do this crazy thing called waiting for an acceptable sight picture. That's how fast you should be shooting. Chasing splits and doubles is dumb. A delta at a 6 hit factor is worth 0.66. Okay? A Charlie at that hit factor is worth 0.33. What that means is if you shoot a delta with your wicked split, you could take 0.3 of a second, shoot an alpha, and improve your hit factor. So it's dumb. You still want to point shoot? You still want to chase splits? Like what? Like literally, what are we doing here? Do we not understand the math? Are we that interested in spicy Instagram videos? Come on. Not calling your shots is dumb. Looking for holes is dumb. Watching steel fall is dumb. Well, how am I supposed to know if I hit something? Oh, let me guess. You've been dry firing with a SIRT or some sort of computer that tells you where your bullets would have gone. Oh, you haven't learned how to call your shots? I understand that. I'm not mad at you about it. I can show you how to do that and free you from looking at bullet holes in the target. Free you from watching steel fall. And the best part about calling every shot is it is thinking about nothing when you do it right. Negative imprints during training is number 24. Imagine this. A guy goes and practices draws. Ooh, that didn't go very good. Oh, I missed my grip. Oh, dot wasn't on target. Ooh, I shanked the trigger. That's the guy that goes to the match, that misses his grip, shanks the trigger, and doesn't see his dot. And people think they can outsmart this. You really think you can outsmart the guy that discovered how to win the Olympics? Is that so? Unless you're an Olympic gold medalist, I'll have the conversation with you. If you are not an Olympic gold medalist, then I don't want to hear you arguing with me about negative imprints during training because it is suicidal. You're just telling me to tell myself out. I never said anything of the sort. Okay. Negative imprints during training, second biggest problem in the sport. Negative imprints during stage planning is a massive problem. Oh, that looks hard. That looks really hard. I don't like to go prone. That's the shooter that shoots the stage, that thinks it's really hard and doesn't want to do it. Or, oh, this stage looks like a lot of fun. I cannot wait to go prone because I've been working on that. This stage plays to my strengths. And this is not new information. When you love the stage, love your plan, you shoot great. Hate the stage, hate your plan, you shoot terrible. So find a way to love the stage and love your plan. You'll shoot great. You think you can outsmart this? That would be dumb. Okay, obsessing over stage plan versus execution. The only thing you need to do when you plan a stage is reduce the amount of time spent not shooting. That's it. That is it. Okay? If you can't decide, it doesn't matter. If you're torn between going left and going right and you can't decide, congratulations. By definition, if you can't decide, that means it doesn't matter. Think about it this way. Hey, honey, what do you feel like dinner tonight? Mexican or barbecue? Doesn't matter. Can't decide. That means it doesn't matter. If it really mattered, she'd say, yes, I want to go to the top secret Hispanic joint behind the grocery store. I really want to go there. Or there's this Indian place I want to go to. But if she doesn't tell you, that means she doesn't care, which means it doesn't matter. Quit worrying about it. Don't ask, if you're trying to learn from other shooters, don't ask them what they did on a stage. Ask how they came to that conclusion. Somebody impresses you with a stage plan. They saw something you didn't see. Don't ask them the what, ask them the why. Because the what is only useful for that stage. The why could be useful in the future. Then you actually learn something. How about that? Okay, number 27. Documenting failure instead of success is dumb. Posting bloopers on the social media where you show everybody how dumb you are. Like why would you do that? So you go on social media and you go, okay, this last match was a complete train show. It's a complete. It was okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. It was a shipwreck train show. Okay. See what I did there? I inferred the joke and the dirty word, and you fell right for it. Shipwreck train show. Okay. Okay. So do that. Do it after every match, and then approach a gun company and say, hey, would you like to sponsor me? Yeah, my social media is full of my mistakes and my problems. All I have is shipwreck train shows, and I can't put a match together without screwing it up. Will you please sponsor me? Can I wear your jersey? That would be dumb. Okay? Over-aiming produces trigger honk. That means the harder you aim at a difficult target, the more likely you are to honk the trigger. Wait a second, you tell me not to aim? Nope, I'm telling you that a human being cannot stop a handgun from moving, or a rifle if it's unsupported. So if you're trying to time it for a perfect aiming spot, you will honk the trigger and you will miss. And your solution will be to aim even more, hit the trigger even harder, then you'll miss again. Okay? Over-aiming produces trigger honk. No written training schedule is dumb. If you leave your training to choice or chance, there's a chance you'll make the wrong choice. It's that simple, right? You don't go to work when you feel like it. That's a good way to get fired. Well, if you train when you feel like it, that's a great way to stay in the middle of the pack. Because that's what the middle of the pack does. They do whatever they want. They do dumb stuff. That's why they're in the middle of the pack. That's why those names never change. Because they haven't figured it out. They think they can outsmart it. That's why they're in the middle of the pack. They're training too much with negative imprints, and they go to the match consciously controlling speed. Push here, slow down there, attack, control, Take it easy on this one. It's a speed shoot, high hit factor, go for broke. It's a low hit factor, slow down and get your hits. I'm not saying those things are wrong. I'm saying those things happen when the shooter shoots them according to the visual conditions with a high level of subconscious skill. That's what I'm saying. Disowning the win, number 30. I may have got lucky at that match. Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn. Got lucky, nobody good. If you can't document how you won a match, you can't duplicate it. And if you chalk it up to luck, you can't duplicate that. You're going to win nationals by making sure nobody good shows up? Is that really your plan? But if you don't feel like you can win, you're never going to. It's that simple. Seeking perfection is dumb. However, A stage win is perfect, 100%. A match win is perfect, 100%. Your percentage of the stage winner or the match winner is your percentage of perfect. So if you come in second at 98%, congratulations, you're 98% perfect. But what you're seeing is 2% failure, and that's dumb. There's a lot of people below you that want that number 2 spot. That's what she's... No, we're going to leave that one alone. Okay? Okay, perfection is your percentage of the stage. Number 32, trying to outsmart mental management is dumb. Oh, I'm going to do about 60% of how to win the Olympics and wonder why I don't. That would be dumb. Selective application of mental management is not smart. Not doing a journal is not smart. Not following through on your directive affirmation is not smart. Please don't do those things. Number 33, socializing during the walkthrough is dumb. And ironically, these are the same people that complain about reduced walkthrough time. What they're really saying is, I don't have enough time to screw around. 5 minutes is plenty of time to get a good, dumb, subconscious stage plan with positive inputs. Joey Sauerland doesn't look at the matchbook. He doesn't pre-walk the stages. When he gets to stage 1 of nationals, it's the first time he's seen it. Number 34, not being selfish when you're volunteering is dumb. You decide when you're going to step down, put the timer on the barrel, and walk away from it. And if you're in the RO, if you're the RO, you are in complete control of that event. Okay? Because you're the RO. If you want to influence the shooting order or the walkthrough time, you're the RO. Take control and be selfish when it's time to shoot. Number 35, watching other people shoot is kind of dumb. It contributes to cadence imitation. So let's say you're in C class, you shoot carry optics, and you watch an A class open shooter shoot the stage. Is that really the noise you're likely to make? No. And it could be a negative imprint. If the shooter shoots really well, it could scare you. If the shooter makes a really bad mistake, you could think about that mistake. 99% of the time, there's nothing you can learn from watching the guy in front of you. I'd have to think about it a little bit. There may be some cases. So I did think of one. Activator sequence for a guy in the same division, same class. That's useful information. It's the only thing I can think of right now. Oh, also slippery terrain. If you see a guy go through full speed and he's having some trouble, and you didn't walk at full speed, you could learn something from that. The vast majority of the time, you're not going to learn much. Instead, visualize on their start time. Number 36, walking stages without the written stage briefing is dumb. If you don't know the round count and the start position, you are wasting your time and you're creating fragments of stage plan that are going to cause a brain fart. So don't do it. What's the round count? What's the start position? Otherwise, you're wasting your time and damaging your shooting. Number 37, no round count in your plan or visualization is dumb. I'm afraid of memory stages. Okay, that's great. Put the round count in your stage plan and put it in your visualization. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, look at this. When I finished my visualization, I got to 32. That's how many rounds are in the stage. I'm probably not going to forget a target. This is great. Put the round count in your visualization. And don't go 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Insufficient reps of stage plan. You need at least 20 reps of your stage plan by the time you're up. That's easy to do, but what you got to do is memorize it and then quit walking it. And if you can't remember every stage of the match when it's over, you never knew those stages well enough. Those are the facts. Okay? Today's Tuesday, if you shot a 5-stage match on Saturday or Sunday and you don't remember every single target of every single stage today, you did not know those stages well enough. I assure you. Because the guys that know them, Drew Maruski, Jay Beal, they know every target of the last match they shot. I promise you. We could call Jay Beal right now. He might not remember if they were open or partials, and here's why. He doesn't see no shoots. More on that in a minute. But you got to get at least 20 reps, okay? And your visualization should be targets and foot markers only. One mistake people make when they get more reps than normal is they start wanting to add detail, and those are no longer identical reps, which means they don't count. And that's going to increase overthinking. Okay, number 39, dry firing static only is a mistake. Now, I will freely admit, when I wrote this book, The only thing I cared about was making Grandmaster. Now, there is a little bit of movement drills in here, but at that time, the classifiers that I saw were 100% stand and shoot. And I will freely admit the only thing I cared about was making Grandmaster. However, if I had had this information available to me after I made Grandmaster, I would have been much more competitive. I was very competitive, but as Kita has told me, my understanding of movement was the 1990s. All we knew to do was to run fast and shoot fast. And remember, there was no YouTube and nobody wrote a book about it. So Kita Bussey wrote a book about it. I think you should benefit from her research instead of trying to figure it out yourself. Trying to figure it out yourself after somebody's done you the favor of figuring it out for you would be dumb. But every drill and refinement repetition can be made a moving drill by doing one thing. Here, I'll show you. Okay? Drill number 1. Sight picture confirmation. Okay? Draw and establish an acceptable sight picture on the lower A zone. That's the body A zone, not the bottom of the body A zone. With the finger on the trigger. Do not pull the trigger. So we change it. While moving, draw and establish an acceptable sight picture. See, you just do the drill while you're moving. That's simple. Okay? Okay, number 40, poor physical fitness. There is no excuse for a serious athlete to be out of shape. That's all there is to it. Your performance will be okay, but fatigue will be worse, and you're more likely to get injured, and you won't be able to do sufficient reps. So I'm going to challenge you, and Joey Sauerland challenged me. He said, Steve, we need you around. We need you in good shape. We need you on the range. I need you to get into better shape. And I did. Joey Sauerland challenged me, and I did it. All I did was set up a very simple workout plan, modify my diet a little bit, and I am in much better shape than I was 30 days ago. And it's going to get even better, I promise. Because pay value. Pay value. What's in it for me? I identified some things that get better for me if I'm in better shape, right? Personal, some public, some private. Sure, of course. Yeah, pay value. I can get that done. Okay, no objective during training. If you go to the range without an objective, without a plan, you're wasting your time. That is dumb. There's no success without an objective, and there's no confidence without success. Okay? Number 42, a match goal beyond your control is dumb. The result is never within your control. Your process is, and that's duplicable. So here's a way to look at it. Hey, I want to win my class at this match. Hey, I got a good chance to win this match. That's great, and I love that. What do I need to do within my control to make that more likely? Or if there's something I'm afraid of, like when I went to the Steel Challenge match a month ago. I was afraid. I don't mind telling you that. I was afraid of damaging my reputation. And it wasn't this extreme, but it felt like my entire career was on trial. That's what it felt like. Local Steel Challenge match. Okay? So what I did, I identified an objective within my control to make it less likely that I'd be embarrassed. You want to know what I did? Oh, you're going to love this. I put the dot in the middle of the target. That's what I did. Even on Smoke and Hope. I love it when people shoot Smoke and Hope and miss the refrigerator. Like what are we doing here? Literally, what are we doing? Well, it's got to be a quick first shot. Yeah, you missed it fast. But you had to go back for it, and I'm pretty sure you could have seen something and hit it the first time. Okay? And I think Steel Challenge shooters think that the top guys are just shooting 100% predictive muscle memory. There is some of that going on there, but if you take the sight off the gun, if you take the dot off the gun, or you blindfold them, you still want to bet on them? Because I don't. Yes, it's not really muscle memory, but we'll use that term. It's actually myelin. But yeah, there's something going on there for sure. I dry fire Steel Challenge every day now. My body knows what to do, but I still got to put the dot in the middle of the target. The body might help me do it, but I still got to see something. Otherwise, it's going to be a makeup shot. And you're never going to save enough time point shooting or firing a hoper to make up for a makeup shot. You're just not going to. Okay? Number 43, poor preparations for the weather. If the weather is not going to be to your liking, well, number one, like it. Prepare for it the best you can and ignore it. If it's going to be cold, wear layers. If it's going to be hot, take a lot of water. If it's going to rain, have a rain plan. Prepare and ignore. Hanging out in the lunch area is dumb. I'm going to go to Area 3. I can't wait to get 2 plates of barbecue and some strawberry cobbler. It's going to be so good. You're going to feel like crap when you get to your next stage. And there's a cesspool of negative environmental imprints in that lunchroom. And did you really go to Area 3 for strawberry cobbler? Is that why you went? Is that really why you went, was to have 2 plates of barbecue and strawberry cobbler? Like, what are we doing here? Okay. Number 45, allowing environmental imprints to infect. Environmental imprints are ideas that can be accepted or rejected. That is your decision to make. Ooh, stage 4 is really hard. Well, sucks to be you, because I know how to shoot those targets. Everybody's taking a mic on the swinger. Sucks to be them. Oh, but this one's not written down. This is something super smart. Okay, let's say you're in A class and you see that the best A class shooter has a 4 hit factor on that stage. Okay, that doesn't mean you're going to try to shoot a 4, but it does mean you can hypothetically calculate some makeup shots. Right? So if a miss is 15 points and there's a swinger, divide 15 by 4, which is the hypothetical hit factor. That'll tell you how much time you have to get an alpha and improve your hit factor. It's going to be a lot. Well, it's going to be greater than 3 seconds. So that's a second pass of the swinger. Wouldn't that be nice to know that a second pass of the swinger's worth it? It doesn't mean trying to get that time of that hit factor. Not for you. What it does mean is you can calculate makeup shots and you can calculate some risk and reward. That would be smart. Okay, number 46, not training in poor weather is dumb. If you're willing to compete in the light rain, I need you to train in light rain. If you're willing to compete in 22-degree weather, get your butt out there in 22-degree weather. What does your body do in 22 degrees? What does your equipment do when it's wet? What do your shoes do? You need to know these things. Okay? Number 47, don't ever tell yourself not to do something. Men, you know what happens. When you tell yourself not to do something, you are issuing an apology and looking for a reshoot. The problem is, on most ranges, accidental discharges don't get reshoots. And guys, that's what happens if you tell yourself not to do something. Accidental discharge with no reshoot. Okay? Because you said don't, and you did. See, I think you should negotiate for the accidental risk charge. You know what I mean. Talk to the range master. Maybe you can get an exception. But if you tell yourself, don't hit the no shoot, don't miss the steal, those things are in your future, I promise you. But if you say, shoot the partial in the center, or center punch the steal, then those things are in your future. And it's so much better. Number 48. Do not turn your body for short periods of lateral movement. It's a big mistake that I made for a long time. Instead, you want to use the lateral shuffle, for short periods of lateral movement, 5 feet or less. And you should not be shooting while you're shuffling because it's too bouncy. Okay? Risk of injury is very high if you do it further than that. The first time I met Keita, I was limping. And she said, I know why you're limping. And I said, how could you possibly know that? She goes, because you're an advocate of the shuffle and you're doing it too long, too much, too far. And that's putting stress on your knees. That's why you're limping. And I tried to argue with her. And she said, I'm a nurse. I've studied this stuff. You are wrong and I am right. And I said, I don't agree with that. And she's like, okay, keep shuffling at 6 feet. And it got worse. Okay. So shuffling for further than a short distance, high risk of knee injury. Okay. But the shuffle's very good. Once again, it is described in this book along with the physical warnings because we don't want you to hurt yourself. You can also read in that book about energy leaks. My buddy Guilherme in Brazil, a lot of energy leaks. An energy leak is where your body is doing something unnecessary that's costing energy and time and you're not getting anything for it. Sliding around, doing a teeter-totter, standing up, those are all energy leaks in which you're moving and not getting anything out of it. You need to reduce those, okay? Number 50, judging accuracy while you're getting faster is dumb, okay? In order to get faster in training, there's gonna be some sloppy shots because if you could shoot it faster than you currently could with good points, you'd already be doing it. So of course it's something you can't do. So you got a choice to make. Do I want it to take 2 years to shave 2 seconds off this? Or do I want it to take 30 minutes? Because once you learn what it feels like to do something faster, it becomes normal, becomes subconscious, the accuracy can come back. And similarly, when you're trying to improve accuracy, quit judging speed. Every time we do group shooting, where's the draw? Where's the time limit? There is none. It's very simple. Shoot me 5 holes on a circle this big. Oh, no time limit? Show me. And they can't. Most of the time they can't. And that's because they're honking the trigger on a perfect sight picture. That's why. Hey, what's going on here? Oh, that was sight. Oh, really? You intentionally aimed 6 inches low? Oh, no, I didn't do that. Okay, then it's trigger. We'll get to that in a minute. 52, tolerating unreliable gear. Would you tolerate an unreliable car? You would not. Why do you tolerate an unreliable gun, unreliable ammo? Number 53, sniping alphas on partials is dumb. So you take, and ironically, here's where you're willing to invest the time. This is crazy. Like you'll rip an 18 split at 10 yards to try to save 0.03 of a second and just take whatever you get. Oh, but on the partial, oh, shoot minor, need alpha. That's where you want to aim. You want to aim at a space the size of a golf ball. You after running. You really want to do that? So let's say you did. Let's say you stood there. It took you a couple of seconds. 2 perfect alphas. Awesome. One of them nicks the line. Now you've scored 0 points. Literally, your score went from 10 to 0 because you aimed too much and you honked the trigger. Shoot the center of the available target area on partials at least until master class. And then you can favor the A zone. Oh, I shouldn't have even said that. I would like to retract that and change it. Shoot center of the available target area on partials forever. Don't think of it as shooting Charlies and Deltas, because sometimes you get Alpha Charlie, sometimes you get 2 Alpha. But your margin of error when you shoot a handgun, is about, I don't know if you can see this. It's about as big as the rim of this cup. That's your margin of error. Okay. So what I want you to do is take the center of this cup and place it right in the middle of the A zone. You'll see that the edge is into the no shoot. Now take the center of the cup and put it in the middle of the brown, and you will see nothing anywhere near the no shoot. You get 6 quick points, and you're out of there. I've tested this so many times. The hit factor is always, always, always higher, and that's after you take out the no shoots. After you take out the mics and no shoots. Okay, remove that word from your vocabulary. No shoot. No more. Ignoring training opportunities. Every single one of you listening to this program knows what you need to work on to be more successful, but you're not doing it. Strong hand, weak hand, you need to be able to do that. It's easier to be the best strong hand only shooter in your region than the best shooter. Your weakness must become your strength, and the only thing I ever did was dry fire speed and live fire my greatest opportunity. That's it. Oh, that's all Joey's ever done. Oh, that's all Jay Beal's ever done. Oh, that's all Gaz Evans has ever done. Oh, that's all Rich Slater has ever done. Sorry, Jay Slater's ever done. Huh. Interesting. Setting up after movement is dumb. When you arrive where you're going, whatever height your body's at is where it stays. Okay? No reason to stand up. That's something that I already knew. But Kita Bussey put in her book that when you stand up after arriving, you're introducing shooting while moving difficulty without shooting while moving. Okay? So you don't want to do that. If you arrive, well, number one, you should arrive low with the gun high. Makes it so easy to shoot. Standing up takes time and influences accuracy. Number 56, misunderstanding shot calling. Shot calling is not shooting perfect alphas. Shot calling is knowing when you didn't shoot perfect alphas, and you cannot consciously slow down. The conscious control of speed, say it with me, is always an error. I mean, you can say it with me. My imitators are going to be saying it in a week if they're not already are. It doesn't really matter. But the conscious control of speed is always going to be an error in competition, I assure you. Number 57, slowing down to get your hits is just as bad because it slows everything down. Because of the language barrier in Brazil, and because it's such a novel concept, pardon me, I gotta wet my whistle here. I understand that you cannot wrap your head around shooting alphas without consciously slowing down. I understand that. It's not your fault. It's the industry's fault, and it's the firearms community's fault. It doesn't have to be that way. There's a young man, I want to make sure I pronounce his name, I want to make sure I get his name right, because nobody really knows who he is. There's this guy, right? He's got this crazy idea. I think his name is Christian Seiler. Seiler. He's kind of new on the scene. Nobody really knows who he is. He shoots alphas without slowing down. It's a pretty great strategy. And when I was with the Open Super Squad, I could not believe how patient the splits were. I was so proud of those guys. There was only one stage where they disappointed me. He had to go hard left, hard right for close relay targets, and we got charters and deltas. Like, what are we doing here, guys? You were doing so good seeing a second sight picture. Oh, they might have been point shooting. I bet they were. Point shoot. No sight. Charlie. Delta. Weird. But yeah, you got to learn to call your shots. You can't be slowing down to get your hits. Number 58, favoring body speed during shooting while moving. Okay. All right. If you don't think you can shoot well while you're moving, here's the problem. You're choosing a body speed instead of surrendering to a sight condition, right? If I want to back up, let's see, what have I got available here? There's literally 300 guns in this. Oh, we'll use the Kunin 357 Magnum. Like, nobody even knows what a Kunin is. I think it's a Kunin. Maybe I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's a Kunin. I think it's a Kunin. That's what we're going to call it. 357 mag semi-automatic. Okay, perfect. So, if I want to back up, I've got a sight picture on I shouldn't shoot at my own forehead. I'll shoot at that red thing, okay? Oh, that's too fast. Okay, let's try it again. Oh, that's the right speed because I can keep my sight on the target. So when you have the sight picture on the target and you can maintain it, that is the right speed to be moving when you're shooting while moving. But people do a dumb thing. They start galloping and they just start shooting and they wonder why it's not accurate. I should be like, yeah, but your splits were great. If your sights are loose, calm your caboose. Sight dictates body speed when you're shooting while moving. And if you want to be moving faster than that, you could do a crazy thing. Check this out. This is wild. It's going to blow your mind. If you wanted to get better at that, shooting while moving, you know what you could do? You could practice it. Oh, yeah. You could get a sight picture. You kind of walk around and see what your body needs to do to maintain the sight picture. Wouldn't that be a thing? Yeah, maybe instead of buying a gadget or getting an HVR, what if you took your gun, aimed at something, and moved around to see what you had to do to maintain a stable sight picture? You could literally do that and nobody's stopping you. Okay. Dot focus paranoia. Okay, this one is really interesting to me. The industry has got people so worried that they're dot focused that that's all they could think about. Well, I can't be dot focused. The way I understand it is, unless the dot is the clearest thing in your vision and the target is blurry and you have no idea where it's on there, you're not dot focused. If you can see the target clearly, as I understand that term, you are not dot focused. The issue that I have is people are hearing that they don't need to see the dot. I don't think anybody smart is saying that, but people are hearing it. Where was the dot when you fired the gun? I don't know. I'm not dot focused. Huh? What? My fear is that people are so afraid of dot focus that they're not even seeing the dot anymore. In fact, I know that's true. So as I understand that term, okay, unless the dot is the clear, and I fired one shot in my career like that. When I got my first open gun, I was actually shooting it indoors at bowling pins. And when I fired the gun, two things happened. Number one, I was focused really hard on the dot and I couldn't see the bowling pin, so I missed. Imagine that. I was dot focused for the very first shot I ever fired with a dot. And then my open gun broke the fluorescent light bulb and rained me in glass, which was like, I don't know. I don't know if open is scary or awesome, but it's dangerous. And if danger is scary, then it's scary. If danger is awesome, open's awesome. It's really cool. Okay, leaving deltas on open targets is dumb. The same people that want to snipe alphas on partials are the same ones leaving deltas on open targets. Like, this is crazy to me. Like, they'll work so hard for an alpha on a partial, but they won't work a little harder for an alpha on an open target. They'll invest 2 seconds for 2 alphas over here, but they won't invest 500s over here. It's crazy. Don't leave delta on open targets. Guys, a delta on an open target is unacceptable. Number one, it's 1 point for most of you, 2 for some of you. Number 2, it's perilously close to a mic. So one of the greatest things I can teach you or help you understand is this is just going to blow your mind. You're not even going to believe this. I can help you. I can help you learn to evaluate the shot as the gun goes off, instead of crossing your fingers, and the mystery mics will virtually vanish. The percentage of mystery mics that you have will be reduced to a single digit, I promise you, if you do what I ask you to do. Got this stuff figured out, guys, I'm telling you. Okay, so we have a drill that we'll teach you in class that will cure you forever of deltas on open targets, and your mystery mics will virtually go away. Okay, number 61, no match mode dry fire. Match mode dry fire is dry fire in which you leave only acceptable shots as quickly as you can see them. In this environment, you do not measure individual events. So there's no measure of draw, no measure of reload. Well, how am I going to know if I'm doing them good? You're not. You're going to do them subconsciously. They are what they are. We're done with subconscious skill dry fire. Now we're entering match mode, in which we use the subconscious skills that we currently possess to leave acceptable shots as quickly as we can see them. That's what we're going to do. Well, how do I know if it's good? Well, have you been training? Is it good? And here's the problem. The reason you don't know if it's good is because you've been putting negative imprints on your training. Boom, I win. Advantage Anderson, okay? Yeah, you've got negative imprints during training. That's why you don't know if it's good. If you've been doing positive imprints during training, you would know it's good. You wouldn't worry about, oh my goodness, it's all coming full circle. You wouldn't worry about it. You would trust it, and it's almost like trusting subconscious skill with a singular focus on vision is the right way to shoot. Holy moly. Softballs just keep going over the fence. So match mode dry fire. Put 10 seconds on your par time, dry fire whatever you want for 10 seconds. What do I dry fire? I just said it doesn't matter. Anything you want. And then change it and do it for 12 seconds. What do I dry? That doesn't matter. Okay? Paper, steel, whatever, doesn't matter. But you are the only one who knows if the sight pictures were acceptable. And there's pros and cons to doing it with or without trigger pull. For steel challenge, I'm really enjoying doing it without trigger because there's no incentive to leave the plate without a good shot. If you're pulling the trigger, you have a little bit of incentive to kind of get out of here a little bit. But if it's only sight picture and you're not pulling the trigger, the definition of success is much clearer, and I like that a little bit better some of the time. Not all the time, but some of the time. Okay, so no match mode dry fire would be done. You could do stages. It's a little bit more complicated. I like to just do it on targets from 10 seconds up to 30 seconds. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to set up 2 targets. You're going to dry fire them twice. You're going to go, what now? Well, you keep doing it until the part time 10 seconds. You do it for 10 seconds. Back and forth, back and forth. 2 targets, doesn't matter. Add a target, put some movement in there, put a reload in there if you want to. Okay? Training speed on reduced size targets is dumb. Anything smaller than 1/3, and I don't love the 1/3, but I can tolerate them. If you're trying to get faster on reduced size targets, that is dumb. Okay? Here's what that's like. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get a 1 second draw on a 25-yard partial. You would never do that. Okay? Use big targets to go fast. The reduced size targets are fine for accuracy or match mode, but do not put par time for skills on reduced size targets smaller than 1/3. Well, I'm trying to make it harder so I get faster. No, you're not. You're keeping yourself at a current speed. You're not breaking new ground. I want you to practice your draws on your refrigerator. That's where I want you to practice your draw. Can I point shoot it? Well, now that's interesting. In training, if somebody's never fired the gun out of the holster in under a second, I will encourage them to point shoot 1 shot, maybe 2, to see what it feels like to fire the gun in under a second. Because if you don't know what it feels like, you can't do it. And you certainly aren't going to get an alpha the first time you do it. You're telling me to shoot sloppy. So okay. We're talking about the difference between competition and training. Would you allow yourself to consider the possibility that they're different environments? Would you just allow yourself to consider that? Training is for experimentation, pushing, rush, try, hurry, miss. That's what training is for. Right? I read a quote from Todd Jarrett in the very first issue that I ever got of Front Sight Magazine. And he said, if you're not missing in practice, you're not training fast enough. And I said, I don't know who this Todd Jarrett guy is, but he didn't know what he's talking about. Why would I want to practice missing? And I didn't get it. He was trying to give me speed mode in my first issue of Front Sight Magazine. But in my infinite new shooter wisdom, why would I go to practice and miss? It's not what he was saying. What he was saying is, if the shooting you're doing in practice doesn't result in some misses, you're not pushing yourself in training, which means you won't get faster in training. See what I did there? I gave Todd Jarrett credit for something he didn't even do. But he tried to give it to me. I wasn't ready for it. Rob Latham tried to tell me in a Dillon VHS, Jay Beal's going to have to Google VCR again. Shoot partials in the center of the available scoring area. It's faster and it's less risky. But because he was doing it on steel, I didn't understand it. Okay. Number 63, trusting questionable sight pictures. Guys, if you have a bad sight picture, is that ever going to be a good shot? Ever. Especially you iron sighters. Brazil, there's all of you. In America, both of you iron sighters, listen. You know a stink sight picture when you pull the trigger. What do you think is going to happen? Okay, you know what a bad shot looks like when the gun goes off. That's shot calling. Hey, that's a bad shot. I wonder if it hit anything. Why would you do that? Like the gun's over here, the target's over there, it went off for some reason, you're going to look to see if you hit it? That's dumb. Okay, being stuck in class is not necessary. What do you need to do? Okay, so the letter writers in C class, Mr. Letter Writer, do you know what you need to do to get out of C class? Because I do. You need to be dry firing 45 minutes a day. You need to be doing it effectively. Okay? That will get you out of C class if you maintain your mental game even a little bit. It'll get you out of C class, no problem. In my opinion, a person would almost have to try to stay in C class. Like anybody who's training seriously and has a shred of a mental game should be in B class, no problem. Okay? So to me, C class either is not practicing, has not been practicing long enough, or doesn't have a great mental game, or is completely misinformed or misunderstanding some of this stuff. Okay? So here's the question. Is your C-class barrier technical or mental? Do you know that? Okay, well, I don't know. You got to tell me. Well, I kind of know. It's probably a little bit of both. However, do you need more points or more time to get out of C-class? If you need more points and your times are okay, that's mental. Right? If your points are good, but your time's not, that's technical. Pretty simple. Okay? But you need to know this. Number 65, changing guns and gear constantly is dumb unless your only goal is to have fun and you don't care about the results. Then do whatever you want. Okay? But if you're going to switch from carry optics to open and you'll be bouncing around different guns, different platforms, it is going to delay your progress. Consistency comes when you choose a primary, master what you've chosen, and trust what you've mastered. If you don't choose a primary, you'll never get it mastered and you won't be able to trust it. Misunderstanding the goal. Number 66, your goal to match is a subconscious stage frame with positive imprints and then a subconscious stage execution with singular focus. What in the world's he talking about? See? I defined it. I literally took the mystery out of it. I told you what to think about and what to care about so you could duplicate your precious environment of not thinking and not caring like I did that. Okay? If you create a subconscious stage frame with positive imprints, this is what I'm going to do, and I know that I can do it. And then you shoot that stage with a singular focus on vision, you have created the closest you're going to get to not thinking and not caring, because not caring, you know what that really means? Because, see, I studied that too, right? When we say we don't care, what we really mean is we're not worried. And what's interesting about that is not caring can't be duplicated, right? In the same way love cannot be turned on or off, right? Are you with me so far? Right? So positive imprints means you're not worried about the results. And that's the closest you're going to get to not caring. And it's actually better. Because if I'm not worried, I'm more confident than if I don't care. I literally told you how to create the magical environment, and my imitators will tell you tomorrow after they rebrand it and put it in their monthly program. 67, misunderstanding the purpose of training. Okay, we're doing good. What are we, hour and a half in? We got, oh my. We're about halfway down. Yeah, 3 hours was the budget, so that's okay. If you need to go to the restroom or get a snack, I'll wait. You can mute yourself while you potty if you want to for politeness. Like always, I'll just keep talking and being polite. Number 67, you are not training to get better. What? Now you're really crazy. I was on board with some of this stuff, but no, you're not training to get better. You're training to make a higher level of subconscious skill available to you on demand under pressure, so you don't have to think about it. That's why you're training, to make a higher level of skill subconscious so that it doesn't require conscious thought. And training must provide positive imprints. It must. If it does not, you're going to be stuck in the middle of the pack with the guys that encourage you to slow down, speed up, and think about your mistakes. And they've signed a lease. Hell, they've taken out a second mortgage on the middle of the pack because they just don't know any better. God bless them. Okay? All right. Let's see. Becoming overinformed is a problem. This creates something similar to analysis by paralysis, and the industry loves this, by the way. Industry wants you confused and buying things. So if you're confused and buying things, the industry wins. Okay? They would rather you buy things than do things. And every instructor has something to sell. They have to. Everybody needs a niche, right? I've got mine. I provide results and make champions. Other people will sell you promise of splits. Others will, I don't know, give you a grip that can do things. I don't know. Right? This is why the classes that Kita and I have done together have been so amazing, because we have different lanes. Right? I'm over here in the shooting lane, she's over there in the movement lane, and we stay out of each other's lanes. And then when the shooters experience both lanes and get back in together, it is nothing short of magical. It's the greatest results I've ever seen at a class. Okay, number 69, using matches as shooting practice is dumb. You are never going to do enough of anything at a match to have it qualify as shooting practice, but it is competition practice. And ironically, you go to the match, you're not practicing competing, you think you're practicing shooting. So let's ask a 6-stage match. How many draws did you do? 6. Is that practice competing? It's not practice anything. But you could practice the mental game. You could practice competing. Number 70, disrespecting local matches is dumb because you don't take them seriously. You don't learn a proven process. You have a good match, you have a bad match. You don't really learn anything about a successful process. Then you go to the big match and you literally don't know what to do because you disrespected the local matches, screw around, have fun. Yeah, it's fine. Wasn't thinking, wasn't caring. Oh no, Area 1's coming. Oh no. Well, you had all these locals to prepare for it, but you were screwing around. Number 71, disrespecting small stages. All you want out of a small stage is a high percentage of match points. That's all you want. You still need 20 reps of your plan, and the small stages are always won by a middle of the packer who wants to make sure he wins a stage, and he hooks up, he gets lucky, or he has a high level of confidence, one of the two. They're actually pretty similar. But you typically, and this isn't all the time, typically the match winner doesn't win the speed shoot. Typically. Or the fixed time stage or anything like that. Sometimes it happens because the match winner, check out what he wants. The match winner says, I'm leading the match comfortably, and this is a 30-point stage. You know what I should do? I should risk getting a mic and a no shoot to make sure I win a 30-point stage and lose my gap. Yeah, they don't do that. Okay. I'm not telling you to slow down. I'm telling you that when you see a little speed shoot like that, they're designed to get you to rush, try, hurry. The fixed time stage is designed to get you honking off all those shots. You just need a high percent of those match points is all you need. And you might win it. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying. Or do you? I don't know. Number 72, disrespecting easy targets is dumb. Please do not. That's where this whole point shooting thing came from. The guy in Brazil, he point shot three targets at 4 yards, and took 3 mics. That's dumb. The other guy point shot and thought about his draw and came in dead last. Technically, the best shooter in the entire match came in dead last by thinking about his draw and point shooting. So if you think that thinking about your draw and point shooting is smart, you're going to come in dead last. Choice is yours. His hit factor went up fivefold by individual focus and putting it out in the middle of the target. Oh, look at number 73, a lack of a singular focus. So anytime you are doing anything, you need to have a singular focus for your conscious mind. It's very similar to the definition of success, but in training, it might not be the target, right? In training, accuracy may not be the thing. But I got to be accurate. You said I got to be accurate. Okay, we're talking about training. Again, entertain for one brief notion that training and competition are separate environments and require different mindsets. Can we just try that on for size? I mean, I know that's as crazy as seeing the dot put in the middle of the target. I get it, but we're doing crazy new stuff here. Let's face it. A lot of great things feel a little weird the first time. So in training, if you have a strong match mode, your focus is going to be on speed. If you don't have a strong match mode, you have got to get a strong match mode before you can work on speed. And that's all there is to it. Competition, singular focus will differ during the day. When you're walking the stage, that's your singular focus. Subconscious stage plan, positive imprints. When you're shooting, singular focus on something visual works the vast majority of the time for the vast majority of shooters. Okay? Let's see. Number 74, lack of a definition of success. Similarly, anytime I'm training, I must have a definition of success. Must. Otherwise, I can't be successful. And if I can't be successful in training, then I'm going to lose my confidence. Oh, here we go again. You're going to pat yourself on the bottom, give yourself a big old blue ribbon participation chart. I didn't say anything of the sort. I never did. I said, create an environment in which you've got success defined so you can achieve it. Because if you don't, you'll feel unsuccessful. That sounds an awful lot to me like lack of confidence. I know I'm not an English major. I wrote a couple of books. Hundreds of songs, including the best song I have ever written, which will remain private for now. I know a thing or two about words, okay? So, if we don't define success and we don't achieve it, that is going to decrease confidence, and that's the guy that goes to the match. I know you think you can outsmart it. I know you do, but you've signed a lease in the middle of the pack. Number 75, if you are not thinking, talking, and writing about your goal, you are not doing everything you can to achieve it, okay? If you want to be a state champion, you need to be calling yourself that all day long, okay? Well, look at here. State champion Steve Anderson's going to take out the trash. State champion Steve Anderson's going to clean the bathroom. State champion Steve Anderson's going to get you a little travel container for your Q-tips. He's a kind and thoughtful guy. He's also a state champion. He's referring to himself like that. Well, that's awful cocky. Do you want to win or not? You're not going to win until you believe you can win. Here's when you're going to win. You have the necessary skills and you believe you can do it. That's when it's going to happen. But if one of those two elements is missing, you're not going to win. It's that simple. Right? The guy leading Carry Optics Nationals ahead of Christian Seiler 2 years ago, first thing he said, hope I don't screw this up. He didn't believe he could do it. And he didn't do it. He did screw it up because it scared him. If he'd believed he could win, he would have said, look at me. I'm in first place, right where I belong. But that didn't happen, did it? And he didn't win, did he? No, he did not. Christian Seiler won because Christian Seiler believes he belongs there. And he has the skills to make sure his belief is valid. Talk about, write about your goal. If the idea of being a national champion is crazy to you, it's going to remain that way until you get sufficient repetition of it to cause it to be normal. Okay, and I'll prove it to you. Hey, you know what we ought to do? We should get a snake. We should get a pet snake and put it in a fish tank. That's the craziest thing I ever heard of. No, really, snakes are cool. Okay, what kind of snake are you thinking about? Oh, yeah, it's really cool. It's not even venomous. Where would we put the tank? See, where would we put the tank? The idea of owning a snake has already become normal. Winning's like that too. National champion. Oh, I could never be a national champion. National champion. That would be kind of awesome. That'd be good for me. I could, teach more classes. National champion. Oh, I could probably dry fire a little bit. National champion. See, repetition makes it normal. That changes the behavior. That makes it happen. You can disagree if you want to, but a guy thinks you can win the Olympics like that because he did it like that. Crazy. Number 76, the goal of a clean match is the wrong goal because it promotes under trying and shooting scared. You're telling me to get penalties. I can't keep track. It's not what I said. Guys, you have to listen to what I say. Okay. Shooting a clean match is a great result, but as a goal, I'm going to shoot a penalty-free match. You'll be shooting scared. You'll be under trying. Over trying is when you rush, try, hurry, and you lose access to your subconscious skill. Okay? But the sport requires me to go fast. Train fast to be fast. Things that are fast don't have to try to be fast. They're already fast. Right? You think cheetahs in a hurry? Cheetahs are already fast. They don't need to be in a hurry because they're fast. Imagine that. Okay? Under trying is also the conscious control of speed. What overtrying and undertrying both have in common is the conscious control of speed, which denies access to subconscious skill, which is where your training is. So it's almost like controlling your speed disallows access to your training. Crazy. Where have we heard that before? We heard it here first. Okay. Not documenting top performance is dumb. When you get it right, write down what you did. Well, how am I supposed to improve if I don't keep track of my mistakes? How are you supposed to shoot well if you don't document how you did it? Every single one of you listening to this program can tell me reams of information about your screw-ups. You can tell me every way you've ever gotten it wrong. You will list mistakes from now until the cows come home, no matter where they are. What you can't tell me, what you don't know. What was I doing when I got it right? And the reason you don't know that is because you don't ever let yourself get it right. You always think you have to do it better. So you literally do not have a document of what you're thinking about before, during, and after you shoot in which you get it right. Because you won't even let yourself get it right to begin with because it wasn't perfect. And then if you do get it perfect, you post it on the Instagram. What you don't do is take 8 minutes and write down, oh, this is different. I wasn't worried about the results. I had a high level of confidence. If you did that every time you won a stage, you would know exactly what to do. Okay? All right. Misunderstanding self-image. Self-image is not ego. Ego is my sense of importance. If I had a high ego, I would not let a brand new shooter in class because I'm too important. Self-image says I'm the best instructor on the planet. Well, one of the best. Top 2 for sure. Let's call it top 5. Okay? Perfect. Top 2. I'm staying at top 2. No question about it. So, that's self-image. Ego would be, I'm going to charge money for the 127 dumb things you're probably doing. Okay? Because new shooters, I want you guys to have this information because I don't want you to spend years of struggle. Okay? Let's see. Self-image is your confidence in your ability. So if you believe you're a great shooter, that's self-image. If you're too good to change somebody's tire for them or help them carry their gear, that would be ego. They are not the same. They can coexist, but they're not the same. Could you imagine trying to translate this into Portuguese? That's what poor Guilherme had to do for 12 days. Like this rapid fire presentation, this passion, this enthusiasm, this lust for life, if you want to call it that. He had to translate that for 12 days, 10 hours a day. No wonder he was so tired. Okay, self-image also provides normality. So self-image is the habits and attitudes that are normal for you. Tanking classifiers. If that's a trend, that's self-image. Can be stretched, but it can't be violated. Make your own jokes. We are not talking about lying to yourself. Like, I am not suggesting that a C-class shooter sit there and say, I'm the best shooter in the world. That would be dumb. I'm not doing that. What I will say is he can become the best C-class shooter at his club. That's the first place we start. Either I am or I am becoming the best C-class shooter at my club. Okay, that's pretty easy. Okay, now we say I am or I am becoming a consistent B-class shooter. All right, we're stretching it out a little bit. Things can fit. That's good. See how that works? Okay. Number 81, failing to choose or control your conscious thought is a huge problem. Before you shoot, while you shoot and after you shoot, you need to learn what the right thing is to think about before, during, and after. I can help you do that. But if you don't know it and you can't control it, you're going to have a problem. Because here's the thing, you don't know what you're thinking when you're successful. You haven't documented it. You haven't let yourself be successful. Some of you have, but the vast majority of the shooting community, they have no idea. They literally have no clue what's happening when they're getting it right, because they don't ever let themselves get it right. It's never good enough. And because it's never good enough, they don't know what to do. Okay? If you let good enough be good enough twice a week, you'll have at least some kind of documentation. Okay? When I train, it's always good enough. It doesn't mean I stop. It doesn't mean I'm happy. Well, I'm very happy. But it doesn't mean I'm going to stop at a .7 surrender draw on my Steel Challenge banners. But I'm incredibly happy with that day, because that was good enough for today. It ain't good enough forever, but for today, it's good enough. For that practice session, it's good enough. And I know how I did it, and I can do it again. See how that works? It only has to be good enough for that practice session. If you don't let it be, you got nothing to do. Or that match, right? Guys, your performance only has to be good enough for that match. I'm not telling you to call your performance good enough forever. I'm telling you, for you on this day, on that match, that was pretty damn good, and I'll take it. That's how self-image grows, because then you can document what you did to be pretty damn good enough. Okay, celebrating the home run instead of the swing. When you burn a stage down, you have shot a hole-in-one. However, the hole-in-one is not duplicable. What is duplicable is the good swing that made it possible. So what I need you to do when you hit a home run is focus on the swing and not the hole-in-one. Hole-in-one is not duplicable. Number 83, you might be slowing down to shoot perfect shots. If your mission on every stage is 100% alphas, you're slowing down to get your hits. Now you're telling me to shoot Charlies. I never said anything of the sort. Okay, my dogma, right? I don't have a dog. Well, I kind of have a dog. Yeah, I got a dog. I got a god dog. Close enough. Temporary dog. Not temporary. Part-time dog. That's better. So, I believe in green shots, yellow shots, and red shot. When I'm calling shots, a green shot is incredibly likely to be an alpha, could be a close Charlie. But I'm not going to get mad if it is, because I don't have time to ensure perfect alphas. A yellow shot is going to be a little bit wider Charlie, nowhere near a delta or a Mike. Yellow is extremely small, extremely rare. A red shot is either a delta or a Mike, and those always get made up on Comstock field courses. You see how I just completely eliminated the scoring zones and made it so much simpler? And if I call a green shot, there's a 90% chance it's going to be an alpha. And you know what's great about that? 90% alphas is kind of what we're looking. Let's go one step further. I'll tell you that a green shot is 93% likely to be an alpha. There's a 7% chance it's a Charlie on an open target. Where have we heard that number before? That's kind of interesting. But shooting perfect shots, you don't have time for that. Number 84, starting the transition with the bullet still in the barrel. This is extremely common. And maybe people are getting excited about transitions, and that's cool. But the number one rule on transitions is you can't start the transition on trigger pull because the dadgum bullet is still in the dadgum barrel. And guess what? If the barrel's moving to the new target, there's a pretty good chance that when the bullet comes out of it, it's also going to be going that direction. But if you learn to see your sight lift, you know where to start your transition. Okay? Starting transition with the bullet still in the barrel is dumb. Please don't do it. Number 85, you've got to be understanding why you're having an accuracy issue. It can only be sight or trigger. Grip does not affect. Grip by itself does not cause bad shots. Now, it causes shots to be slower, but grip by itself, unless you take it to an extreme, well, even then, I don't think it causes bad shots. Only thing that causes a bad shot is sight or trigger. And group shooting is the best way. People don't do it because it's not a lot of fun. I actually love it because I can be successful. Group shooting will create subconscious trigger control over some period of time. Number 86, over-aiming for difficult shots is dumb. You need to aim the gun, accept the wobble, and allow the gun to fire, as opposed to no, yes! And when you think that sight picture is perfect, you're going to honk that trigger like an angry Canadian goose, and it's going to take a big dump all over your target. Okay? Like a big goose-sized dump. Not going to be good. Micro-aiming always causes trigger jerk. Number 87, movement does not cause bad shots. Oh, listen to that one. Well, I missed because I was leaning. No, leaning had nothing to do with that miss. Well, I missed because I was moving. Nope. Moving didn't have. I missed because I came in too hot. That didn't do it either. What did it? Those things contributed to a poor sight picture upon which you chose to fire the gun. That is what caused the bad shot, not the leaning or the moving, whatever else. Your choice to fire the gun in the presence of a poor sight picture is what caused the bad shot. Or you might have honked the trigger. But if you're going to honk the trigger hard enough to move the sights, you should be able to see it right before or as the gun goes off. Oh, that sounds like shot calling. Woo, what kind of magic is that? Number 88, ignoring transitions as an opportunity is dumb. It is a very, very large chunk of time. And when you do transitions correctly, it actually improves speed and accuracy. In my new fundamentals class, we've learned that most shooters' transitions between targets are exactly the same, regardless of difficulty. So if targets are close, pop, 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 pop. Targets are a little further, pop, 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 pop. A little further, pop, 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 pop. Does that sound right to you? Wouldn't we expect, as the targets get closer, the transition to be shorter? But we don't see that. We don't see it because they want to rip splits. Like they'll rip a split and they'll save 300ths of a second and then they'll take 0.6 to go to the next target. So if I'm looking at a 25 split and a 0.6 transition and I'm going to take 500ths off to rip my split and risk Charlie Delta Mike, but I'm still going to have a 0.6 transition instead of a 55 or a 45 or maybe a 40. Transitions, much, much better place to go looking for time. Because when you do it right, they're faster and more accurate. Number 89, right in the sight on transitions is dumb because you can't track two things at the same time. If you don't believe me, take your wife to the beach and see what happens. If you're staying with the dot, and that would be a case of dot focus, right? If I'm staying, and maybe that's what they mean. If I'm staying with that dot as I'm transitioning across the range and I'm focused on the dot, I don't really know where the middle of the target is, and I'm probably going to blast at the edge of brown. Okay, but if I stay on this target, shoot, lift, and I look at the new one, and then I drive it, and the gun's right behind it, I can see the dot appear on the target, which proves I don't have a dot focus. Ha ha! I win again. Okay, number 90, not practicing competing is dumb. It is not the best shooter that wins. Inside of a class, it's the best competitor. So my question to you is, if you know the best competitor wins, not the best shooter, how often do you practice competing? Number 91, ignoring the 3 modes of practice or not knowing about them is dumb. If I'm in speed mode, I'm trying to get faster and I'm not judging accuracy for some period of time because I need to know what it feels like to do something faster. If I'm sitting on a 1-5 draw and I'm looking for a 1-1-5, let's say, or a 1-2, okay, I can't do that today with an alpha, otherwise I'd already be doing it. So I got to decide what I want. Do I want an alpha or do I want a 1-1-5 or a 1-2 presentation? Because I'm not going to get them both today. So choose wisely. When I'm in accuracy mode, I don't complain about how long it takes because that's not why I'm there. Right? If I'm working on 37-yard mini poppers, how fast I can do it is not relevant because I can't currently do it. And then, of course, in match mode, that's when you practice competing. Number 92, not dry firing at the range is dumb. Okay, so here's what you could do. Gosh, so everybody either has more money than time or more time than money. Okay? If you have more money than time, then you can live fire all you want to at the range. But if you have more time than money, I want you to dry fire at the range. I want you to shoot something for score, whatever it is. I want you to establish a goal. I want you to dry fire it until you've achieved your time goal and then shoot it for score. Depending on how long you do it, the improvements that you make may or may not be subconscious, which means they will or will not show up when you shoot for score again. Okay? Very, very simple. No need to shoot bullets. Saves money. It's better for the self-image because you're not pasting Charlie's, Deltas, Mikes during the experimentation process. Okay? If you're dry firing and your par times are not dropping or they're stagnant, that is dumb. Outside of the presentation drills, which need to be down to 0.6, if your multiple shot drill par times are not dropping, then something's wrong. And if you don't know them, that's also a problem, right? If you're working out of refinement repetition and you don't know your 6 reload 6 part-time, I'm going to question your enthusiasm for the sport. Right? Oh, I really want to make A class. Okay, well, 6 reload 6 is a big, big, big part of getting out of A class. Or sorry, getting to A class. And you don't know your part-time, and it's not dropping, I'm beginning to question how bad you went out of A class. Not trying to be mean about it. I'm just trying to say, well, gosh, when I was working toward the G, I knew every single one of my part-times. Knew every single one of them. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, we're down to 3 pages. We're doing good. Hour and 50. Yeah, I budgeted 3 hours. We're going to be pretty close. Okay, so let me see where that last one left off. Okay, part-times must always be dropping. What you're trying to do is capture the feeling of a new limit of human function, right? The way you do things is your limit of human function. So your draw, for example, if you're at 150, that is your limit of human function. Your job is to get that down to a 130 and make the 130 your new limit of human function. Then 120, 110, 1 flat, 0.9, blah, 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 etc. ad nauseum, okay? So that's the goal. When you're establishing that new limit of human function, which, by the way, I first heard from Brian Enos, accuracy is not that important, okay? In Brazil, we were working on wide transitions. And we cut them in half like we always do. And then they were trying to beat this record. And let's say the record was 50. Okay? Well, if you're trying to do a 50 transition, there's 2 things you can't do. Number 1, you can't be hitting at 70 if you're trying to go for a 50. And number 2, you can't be missing at 70. If you're looking for a 50, you need to be missing at 45. If you're going to miss. Does that make sense? Meaning, I want to do a transition in 0.4 and 0.50, but I'm currently in the 70s. Sometimes I hit, sometimes I miss. That's not good because the body is stuck at a 70. It doesn't really matter for a short period of time whether we're hitting the plate or not. The body is stuck at a 70. So I said, here's what I want you to do. You're stuck at a 70, that's cool. What I need you to do, shoot this one and then give me a safe shot in that direction in under 50. What do you mean? Well, I'll tell you again. Shoot this one. Give me a safe shot in that direction under 0.5. Bam, 42. Okay, great. Do it again. Bam, 41. All we need is a 50. I said, does it feel different? He goes, yeah, it feels so different. Can you remember that feeling? Yeah, I can remember that feeling. Okay, now shoot both plates. Dink, dink. 47, and we're done here. I'm sorry it took so long. It took 5 minutes. Okay. All right, where are we at here? Not seeing sight lift. Okay, so your speed is dictated by your sight lift and return. And you need to be shooting the gun as soon as the sight returns to an acceptable sight picture. That's the right split. But if you're not seeing it lift and return, you may be double tapping or ripping. I don't even know what you're doing, okay? But the right speed to shoot is which you see the sight lift and return to the same area without going down below. If you do that too slow, the sight goes down and it has to come back up. That really happens if you shoot an open gun too slow, it starts bouncing around. Open guns need to be shot as soon as the sight returns to acceptability. Remember, guys, I never said anything about shooting slow. Not a word. In fact, I said the opposite. I said, what I want you to do is learn to shoot alphas faster. What you can't do is rip splits for some other dumb reason. That would be dumb. Okay. Number 95, searching for a magic drill. I was in Brazil. We were doing mental management, and Joey Sauerland texted me about a class we're doing. And I said, this ought to be fun. You guys want to talk to Joey Sauerland? And they did. And I said, okay, who's got a question for Joey Sauerland? Joey, what drill do I do? Joey says, it doesn't matter. Joey, what drill do I do? It doesn't matter. What drill do I do? It doesn't matter. He was nice about it. You can do any drill you want. Shoot it for score, put a part-time on it, and reduce the part-time. What I would do is I would design or pick a drill that represents an opportunity I've got or a weakness I've got, and I would do that. And I would chip away at the part-time until I got faster at it. And I'd be okay if there were some accuracy issues along that way. As long as I'm getting faster, I can tolerate some inaccuracy for a short period of time until my body learns what a new limit of human function is. Okay? There is no magic drill. I mean, there's magic drills. There's not okay, there's some good ones, but you don't need a magic drill. I mean, These are pretty magical. So, okay, where are we at here? Number 96, compartmentalizing accuracy at speed. This is probably the third biggest problem in the shooting sports, is this belief that accuracy has to be slow and speed has to be sloppy. It's just not true. Christian Seiler has learned, as I have helped many others. I didn't teach Christian Seiler how to do it. He got there on his own. But I've taught so many people how to shoot alphas without slowing down. Slowing down consciously, yes, of course. Your splits are going to be a little bit longer than jailbait splits because you're trying to rep doubles. Sure. But they'll be the right amount slower, not some magic, arbitrary number. Okay, number 97. If you're more than 2 points down a stage in IDPA, I'm going to have to ask if you understand the scoring. Because there's nothing you're ever going to do in IDPA to make up for being 6 down. You're just not going to do it. So let's not be 6 down on stages. How am I going to do that? Oh, by putting the dot in the middle of the target, because that's where the 0 is. Yes, that'll work great. Okay, number 98. This is for my buddy Matt, my roommate and Steel Challenge competitor. Seeking technique in Steel Challenge without clean strings first is not the smartest thing in the world. Meaning, if I'm having a lot of makeup shots, I need to deal with that before I go looking at my draws and transitions. Because I would suggest that thinking about draws and transitions is what's causing the need for the makeup shots. Okay. Number 99, training harder with a poor mental game or lack of match mode is dumb and will only get worse. So if I'm not able to shoot consistently, and I'm not able to get myself into match mode and shoot that way with a singular focus and definition of success, what good does it do me to train any harder? In fact, if that's the case, I'm probably already getting negative imprints during training, which means it's only going to get worse. I'm going to work harder to shoot worse. That's dumb. Number 100, don't do technical training right before a big match because you don't have time to alter subconscious skill, which is required for improvement, and you don't really need to. Technical training before a big match will activate the conscious mind, and for the vast majority, well, if it does activate the conscious mind, it's going to be a huge problem. Okay, so don't do that. Number 101, similarly related, thinking about technique while shooting. Okay, your conscious mind doesn't know how to do subconscious things, and I'll prove it to you. Do you use all 10 fingers to tie your shoes? You don't know. What does the pinky do, if anything? Like I'm thinking about how I tie my shoes. I'm pretty sure all 10 are combined, but I don't know. It's because I don't tie my shoes. I watch myself tie my shoes. My conscious mind has moved on to other things, like writing songs and coming back from Brazil and taking a day off. Conscious mind doesn't know how to tie my shoes. And if you're thinking about draws, reloads, and grip and things that should be subconscious, your conscious mind doesn't know how to do those things. That's why thinking about your draw causes you to screw it up. And again, we use words because they mean things. Everybody knows if they think about the draw, they tend to screw it up. But I need them to understand why. Okay? People they're not using the right words. They will be soon because of the imitators. But people don't know that they screw up their draw when they're thinking about it because it's a subconscious skill. They need to know that. The girl in the horror movie who can't get the key in the lock, she is thinking about a subconscious skill. That's why she can't do it. Number 102 is related. Thinking about your feet while you're shooting is bad. Well, you just told me to buy a book about movement. Yes, I did. And I want you to think about your movement in training. Think about your feet in training. Okay? Precisely so that you don't have to think about them at the match. Because we just established you don't shoot good when you're thinking about your feet. So there's 2 lessons there. Number 1, when you work on your feet, don't expect to shoot good. Number 2, when you go to the match, don't think about your feet unless you don't want to shoot good. Thinking about your feet at matches is dumb. Now, I get criticized for the word Rolodex, and we'll find out who's paying attention. So let's try playlist. Okay, you may have, and you probably do, you have a playlist of subconscious skills. Right? I can do it this one, and if you know the names of the moves, that's cool, right? I can do a pivot push, I can do a shuffle. I know what these things are, and they're subconscious. So you can copy and paste them into your stage plan as subconscious skills. They don't require conscious thought because you're choosing subconscious skills, okay? That can be done. Number 103, technical instruction during the walkthrough is dumb because you're going to activate the conscious mind. You want to make silent suggestions to your body, visual suggestions to your body, not tasks. Number 104, adding penalties to a time suck is dumb. If you have a malfunction or I call them time sucks. If you have something happen to your time that is undesirable, the worst thing you can do to a 4-second time suck is to put penalties on it. That would be dumb. Right? So here I am. I've lost 4 seconds. Okay, I'm 4 seconds off the pace. You know what I need now? Penalty points! That's what I need. It's dumb. Okay? After a time suck, shoot points. And it shouldn't really be much of a correction. However, for people to really kind of consciously know that and have it trigger shooting points can be valuable. Let's see. Adding effort or shooting faster after disappointing stage. You know that only gets worse. The conscious control of speed is probably what caused the problem in the first place, and doing that again would be dumb. 106, changing strategy based on interim results. Number 1, if you are leading, you just reinforce what you're doing. No change in strategy. If you are trailing unexpectedly, the correction should already be made. So changing strategy based on interim results. The only thing that could change is potential risk taking, but it shouldn't be changing your process. I forgot. You don't have one. So the reason the results freak you out is you're doing better expected and you don't know why. That's why it's scary. I forgot about that part. Guys, I'm being a little facetious here. I know today I'm a little bit more passionate than normal, maybe a little bit more aggressive, which is fine. I want you to quit making these mistakes. I want you to quit touching this stove. I want you to be done with it. I want you to enjoy success. I want you to reach your potential and quit doing dumb stuff. Okay, let's see. Number 107, journaling errors. You do not need to list your mistakes or problems in any kind of journal ever, anywhere. You won't forget the problems, right? So let's say somebody's, I don't know, chronically late for work, okay? Do they really need to write in their journal, I was late for work again? Do they really need to do that? Do they need to document that? What they need to do is document what happened when they weren't late for work. Okay, Thursday I got there on time. What did I do? I got up early. Oh, great! I had my breakfast pre-made. Cool, now I got to process. But if they write down late for work again, what are they doing? They're reinforcing that they're always late for work, and that's a normal thing to do. Being early for work is not a normal thing to do, but it's what we want. So we need to document it. When we document it, we know what to do, and it's becoming normal. Every time we write it down, we're turning ourselves into a person for whom it is normal and okay, perfectly fine, to be on time for work. Ooh, you could do the same thing with matches, couldn't you? So if I want to stage for the first time, I could literally write down, today I beat Anderson in Steel Challenge by doing these things. Interesting. Does that mean the next time I shoot against him, I could do those things again and increase the chance of beating him? Oh my goodness, this is really starting to make some sense, but people won't do it because it's counterintuitive and it's not in the mainstream yet. And it probably won't be because, I'm like Van Halen, okay? I have the style, but I also have the music to back it up. When Poison came along, they only stole the flash of Van Halen. They didn't get the soul of it. Ooh, is that why I'm wearing Van Halen stripes? Because I have style and substance? Or is that just why I like them so much? That's a head scratcher. Interesting. All right, so number 108, do not become an expert in your Charlies and your Deltas. Okay, if you leave the stage saying 4 Charlies, what's normal? Charlies. If you leave the stage saying, hey, I shot 22 Alphas, what are you becoming an expert in? Here you go again. Tell me to ignore my mistakes. Nope, sure didn't. I told you to keep track of your Alphas because that's what you want. Learn how to shoot Alphas, and you already know how to shoot Charlies. What you need to know is, how do I shoot more Alphas without slowing down? Oh, I don't know. Put the dot in the middle of the target. You think that'll work? Yeah, I think that'll work. When Lanny Basham was practicing for the Olympics, he was out practicing. I've told this story numerous times, but I'm anticipating some new customers or new listeners because of how I'm going to market this program. And by the way, if you're on a podcast platform or if you're watching on YouTube, it would mean a lot to me if you would share and like and recommend this program. If you haven't rage quit by now, my viewership is stalled at a certain number, and I need that number to get bigger. So if you could please do me a favor, like, share, recommend, I would greatly appreciate it. And I know you want people to stay dumb. Trust me, plenty of people are going to stay dumb after they hear this program. But it would really be great for me. It would help me out a lot if you would like and share and disperse so I can grow my audience a little bit. Okay, Laney's out there practicing for the Olympics. And this particular day, he's shooting more 8s than normal. So he gets his notebook out, he starts documenting 8s. Shot an 8. Okay? His 8 count goes up. So he didn't get mad. He learned something. Wouldn't it be cool if you could learn something instead of getting mad? How great would that be? That'd be pretty sweet. So he says, okay, well, that's interesting. Next time I shoot a 10, I'm going to document that. So he starts documenting 10s. 10 count goes up. Become an expert in alphas, not Charlies or Deltas. Number 109. Do you talk to yourself harsher than a shooter you're trying to help? Most of you listening to this program have gone to the range with shooters to try to help them. Competition, basic firearms, something. Do you talk to yourself harsher than you would talk to them, or that you did talk to them? If you did, then one of those approaches are wrong. Meaning, if you're talking to yourself harsher than a shooter you're trying to help, then you're disrespecting the shooter you're trying to help. Because clearly you believe that harsh talking is the way to get improvement. Oh, you don't believe that. Okay, that's interesting. So if you don't believe it's the right way to talk to them, why is it the right way to talk to yourself? If you have a child and you treat yourself more harshly than you do your child, one of those approaches is wrong. You need to be kinder to yourself like you are to your child, or harsher on your child like you are with yourself, because both approaches can't be right. Okay? Okay, number 110, lack of goal-based practice. Shoot for score, establish a today goal, achieve it, move on, and document what you did and how you did it. Every time I go to the range or dry fire, I have a stated goal. And it might just be complete daily dry fire, but I have a stated goal. Okay? It might be, get a .9 on the first shot of Smoke and Hope. Okay? But I always go into it with a today goal. And I do not leave the range until I've achieved the today goal. So check this out. If I accomplish every goal I ever set on the range, what am I expecting when I go to the range? To achieve my goals. So that means I believe, because I have a track record in my self-image, that I'm able to achieve any goal that I set at the range. So I always expect to be successful on the range. Number 111, damaging confidence by not seeing success is dumb. Past success equals future success. Well, let's rephrase that. Confidence is past success predicting future success. So if we don't see any past success, we can't predict it in the future. And I know you think you can outsmart this like everything else. These are just the facts. Okay? You do this in your career. Like if you're in sales, you know a lot more about your good deals than the ones that got shut down. Okay? That's what caused you to be successful. The interesting thing about sales goals for most salespeople is they always hit their number. So if a guy averages, and I don't know what we're selling here, let's say we're selling dot occlusion devices. Okay, we're selling dot occluders, and a guy sells 30 of them a month. Well, if we get to the last week of the month, he's only sold 10, he's going to sell 20. But if he sells his 30 in the first week, he's pretty much done. Because of self-image. Self-image always provides the performance we expect. Very interesting. So, in your shooting, the only way to get more confidence is to use past success to predict future success. Okay, we're down to 2 pages. We're a little over... Oh, we're doing so good. This is going great. Okay, 112, not getting mental game training. Okay, you have been exposed to the best practical shooting mental coach on the planet. That's me. Okay. What is your annual? Let's ask 2 questions. Okay. Make sure your spouse isn't in the room. Okay. Ballpark your annual shooting budget. $5,000, $10,000. Now, what percentage of your shooting is mental? 70, 80, 90. That means you'd be wise to spend $8,000 on mental training. Would be smart, right? If this is my budget and this is my problem, I'm going to spend 80% of my budget to solve the mental game. But you don't have to. The amount of money I need to fix your mental game is infinitesimally small. I need $350 for an online mental management class. And if you do everything in that class, you will reach your potential. Most of you won't. Most of you will cherry pick the parts that you like. But if you've been shooting for a while and you are inconsistent, or if you're training more and shooting worse, or if you're so frustrated you're ready to quit the sport, I can help you. I've done it for dozens, hundreds, at this point close to thousands. I can help you. If you're willing to do a few things that are counterintuitive, I can help you. Okay? So let me help you. All right. We're doing mental management online in March. Number 113, you need a new goal by the time you accomplish the current goal. So let's say you want to make A class. You need to have another goal waiting behind that one, because if you make A class without another goal, you'd be very happy for some period of time, but then you're going to lose motivation. It's called goal depression. And the more of your life you invest in a goal, the emptier you're going to feel when you achieve it. Lanny Basham was suicidal after he won the Olympics. Kind of weird, right? Well, think about it. If you dedicate your life to something, and then you achieve it, what are you living your life for? That's a very extreme example, but it happens. After I got the G, I was super happy for a week. I didn't touch my gun for 6 weeks because I didn't have another goal. So have a new goal ready to replace the current goal. Okay, number 114, pay value. Human beings will only make a change in pay value. So me losing weight, for example, I identified pay value, okay? And I did it. I'd been struggling with it for a while because I didn't have pay value. Because you can't manufacture pay value. It has to be real, okay? So I identified some pay value, and it worked. It's the only reason human beings will change habits and attitudes. So change is easy with pay value. My pay value is so strong, it was very easy to go to Brazil. It's so simple. Hey, do you want 17 beers? Nope, I'm good. Hey, do you want to eat 3 large pizzas and a cheeseburger? Nope, I think not. Because I'd rather lose weight than eat a bunch of food and drink a bunch of beer. Okay? With pay value, change is easy. And guys, you know this. Well, I suppose girls know it too. In a new relationship, well, guys for sure. In a new relationship, guys will do anything because the pay value is so high. Okay? Most guys, not all guys, but most guys, when the newness wears off, when the new car smell kind of goes away, make your own jokes, they lose pay value and they're no longer quite as willing to do the work. See, those of us that are willing to do the work have to pay the price for those that aren't. Ask me how I know this. I know this. So, but it's fine. Pay value. It's not a problem. Let's see. The juice is worth the squeeze, so you keep squeezing. Let's see. Pay value. All right, perfect. So if you're stuck in C class and you know what to do and you're not doing it, the only conclusion I can come to is you don't want it bad enough to do the work. And that's okay. That's fine. It's not a failure on your part or a judgment on mine. It simply means the reality of the situation is you know what you need to do to get out of C class and you're not doing it because you don't want it bad enough. It's the only conclusion that it can be. It's not a mystery. Right? It isn't like we don't know how to get out of C class. Even the imitators can get you out of C class. Right? It's not that hard. Okay? In fact, I think somebody would almost have to try to stay in C class, because to me, C class is for people who aren't practicing effectively, or have a mental game issue. That's who lives in C class. Not being judgmental, so that's just what I've observed. Okay. Oh, let's see. Number 115, pushing in competition is dumb. I want you to push in training and coast at the matches. Don't go fast, be fast. And anybody who tells you it's time to push it in competition, they're just wrong. They're flat out wrong. It's the conscious control of speed. Now, there are situations where you kind of come off the brakes because you have a high degree of confidence. That's not pushing. That's going from under trying to top performance. That's a whole different deal. That's what Jay Beal has learned. Jay Beal has learned not to get on the gas, but come off the brakes. Okay? Pushing the competition is dumb. Number 116, not having a coach. Okay, so this is a little controversial. That's fine. Not every top shooter can or will be a top coach. And I would encourage you, when you're selecting a trainer, don't ask them what they have won. Ask them what their students have won, because that's more important. Okay? Number 117, ignoring the Anderson-Beal-Sauerland model would be dumb. Here's how it works. Number 1, learn match mode. Number 2, dry fire for speed with reducing par times. C, go to matches in match mode with a singular focus on shot calling. That's it. Okay? That's it. Dry fire for speed, learn match mode, learn the mental game, shoot match mode in competition, use dry fire to get stupid, crazy, fast. Number 118, yeah, but see, they'll be, whoa, what about my SVR? What drill do I do? Do I need a mantis? You don't need any of those things. You need a gun and a timer and a brain that works. That's all you need. Well, you need a body that works. Okay, number 118, ignoring movement training and skills is dumb. The enemy of hit factor is time spent not shooting. And those times, like, it doesn't matter how fast you're splitting. If you're not shooting for 3 seconds, that's a 0 hit factor. Okay? So, don't be afraid to get movement-specific training. One more time for the book. It's a brilliant book. Everything you need to know about movement is in that book. I wish I had it when I was a Grandmaster on the Super Squad. That's how big a deal this is. Smart Move by Kita Bussey. Subtitle, Economy of Motion for the Shooting Sports. Brilliant, brilliant book. Okay. Oh, and by the way, you cannot run fast enough or shoot fast enough to make up for a lot of downtime in your stages. And many of you are trying to do that. Number 119, thinking you are immune to mental management and or smarter than it. Mental management is not an invention, it's a discovery. Okay? Mental management is not the automobile. Mental management is gravity. You are subject to this. You're just not participating in it. He didn't invent it. He discovered it. Okay? And the reason I'm making such a big deal about that is everybody's already using mental management. And when people send me, oh, this is just like mental management. Well, that's because these are like universal principles. Strategy, skill, confidence is required for good performance. We didn't invent that. We discovered it. Okay? In your job, strategy, skill, confidence. Oh, let me guess, you're good at your job. The difference is you believe you're good at your job. That's the confidence piece that is typically missing in shooting. You don't believe you're a good shooter because you don't let yourself believe you ever do anything good enough. So it's no wonder you don't believe you're a good shooter. If you want to be a great shooter, you've got to begin allowing yourself to do great things. I don't care if it's putting your belt on correctly. That was great. 1 second draw and dry fire. Great. Break a new par time on a drill. Great. You'll never be great until you let yourself do great things. I know you think you can outsmart that, but try it. Go to the range, identify a goal, and identify something that would be great. And then do it. And then make yourself say it out loud. Ooh, I wanted a .8 first shot, and I did it. That's great. You cannot outsmart that process. You can't. Well, I got where I am by being tough on myself. Okay. But if you have confidence, you must see some success. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any confidence. Okay, number oh, we're almost done. Oh, I lost my last page. Last page is important. Oh, I've got it here. This is the most important page. Okay, let's see, where are we at? 120, misunderstanding pressure. Pressure can only amplify your self-image. So if you believe you're a great shooter, pressure makes you a better shooter. Well, that sure sounds egotistical. Remember, self-image isn't ego. Self-image is your belief in your ability. You can't have too much of that. So pressure can only amplify thoughts, feelings, and self-image. So if you feel like you're a shooter who's no good at swingers, a match full of swingers, pressure's going to, I almost said a bad word, pressure's going to have its way with you, right? But if you go to a match and you believe you can do those things, you don't even need to believe you're the best one there. Now, if you're trying to win the match or if you're a contender, then you do. But if you're just, A-class shooter, B-class shooter, whatever it is, all you need to do is believe you can make those shots, and pressure will make you better at making those shots. The reason pressure's a problem is because you give yourself a job you don't know how to do. Ooh, you give yourself a job you don't know how to do. So, unless you're already dominating top of your class or your local region, you don't know how to win the match. Otherwise, you'd be winning it. Okay? So trying to win a match if you're not already a contender is a job you don't know how to do. Okay? So you can't give yourself that job because you literally don't know how to do it. Lanny Basham, 1972. I got to beat a guy I've never beat, win the Olympics. I don't know how to do that, was what he told himself. Now, in 1976, gave himself a different job. All I got to do today is run my mental program on every single shot. Do you know how to do that? Yes, I'm the best in the world at doing that. Oh. Now he's given himself a job he knows how to do. Not only that, he believes he's the best in the world at that job. Isn't that interesting? Very interesting. Number 121, staying in the middle of the pack is dumb. Here's what you find in the middle of the pack. You find the conscious control of speed, you find negative imprint, and you find worried about the results. That's what you find. They're controlling speed up or down. They're getting negative imprints primarily in training, but also at the match, and they're focused on the result instead of the process they need to achieve it. Tell me I'm wrong. I know these guys. The names never change. This is what they're doing. Okay? Because they think they can outwork it. They think they can outsmart it. Phenomenal shooters, but the names don't change. 122, focusing on results instead of process. Okay, I am not gifted in the kitchen in any way, unless there's a gun or a guitar in there. I mean, I can do some stuff. I certainly couldn't bake a cake. Some people can. If you gave me a picture of a cake, I could not bake it. But if you gave me the recipe, I could do it. So, focus on the recipe, not the cake. If you want the cake, that's great. Everybody wants it. Joey Saladin wants the cake. That's wonderful. Focus on the recipe. So let's say you use a recipe one time, you made the cake. Are you ready to do it without the recipe? Probably not. Now, you make that cake every day for I don't know, some number of days. Let's say 21, because people like that number. You might have it memorized, depending on how tricky it is. Right? You might be able to do it, but not on day 1 or 2. No way. Okay, number 123, over-gripping with the trigger hand. Prevents fine manipulation of the trigger and causes all kinds of problems, especially strong hand, weak hand. So let's look at a worst-case scenario. I'm gripping the gun really hard with my trigger hand. Let's find a different gun here. And we'll just use the Kunin. Okay. I forgot to bring the Walther into the studio. I was so worried about getting to the bathroom and getting my water. I mean, doing a 3-hour podcast with where were we at here? Yeah, 2.5-hour podcast. You got to plan ahead a little bit. Okay, so here I am. I'm aimed at a steel target, okay? In this case, I'll aim at that blue thing behind me, okay? All right, so I'm aimed at it. I'm gripping really hard with my strong hand. See what happens? Okay? This hand is clenched. And as a result, I lose the fine movement in my trigger finger. Okay? And I'm also aimed at such a small point that I'm trying to break the shot before I lose my glorious sight picture. Okay? Let's try something different. This time I'm going to grip hard here. I'm going to try to relax a little bit here. And by the way, trying to relax something on demand doesn't work very well. It's better to think about something else. Meaning, if I think about gripping hard with this one, it's something to do, which will tend to make this guy relax a little bit more. Because if you say, relax your hand, that can be tough to do. So here I am now. I'm aimed at it. A little bit more pressure on my left hand. Let it float. Now I'm going to get a trigger pull that kind of surprises me because I've never shot this gun before. Perfect. Okay, so let's show that again. Well, now let's go strong hand only. Okay, so strong hand only. I'm going to death grip the gun. I'm going to aim at that thing right in the middle. Ooh, that went high. Oh, not good. That's kind of weird that it went high. Oh, over gripping causes high shots. Because, that's pushing. Okay, so we don't see a lot of high shots, but I just learned something. Death grip can cause high shots. So now I'll relax a little bit, let my sights move a little bit more, and be a little bit gentler. Perfect. It went slightly high, but it was much better. So the imprint is much better. A little bit more of a gentle trigger pull. What's the issue that I'm having? I don't know if this, so this grip safety, I didn't know if it was active or not. So that was affecting my trigger pull. Now that I know that, that's a positive imprint. So I think I'm getting it activated. I'm doing really good. Woo, that was a good one. Now, you will never, see what I did? I learned something, created a positive imprint. I've only touched that gun 3 times. So now my opinion of that gun, my self-image, says, yeah, I shoot that gun really well. Because I didn't leave it after jerking the trigger and worried about the grip safety, right? That literally just happened. You saw it live on the YouTube, okay? So, overgripping the gun with the trigger hand is a problem. Trigger freeze is dumb. Trigger freeze is caused by tension, which is caused by trying to go fast. If you're doing a bill drill, which is where trigger freeze is the most common, or something like that, all you've got to do is count to 6 with your trigger finger, and you won't get trigger freeze. Okay? And you can count to 6 as rapidly as you want to because you're not going to stutter when you do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because you know you can do it. You're not worried about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's something you believe you can do. It's not a problem. What you don't believe you can do is pull the trigger really fast. But if you make them the same thing, you've achieved it. Okay? Okay. Oh, and by the way, if you're in a situation where trigger freeze is likely, or you think it's likely, do not speak of it. Think about something else. Think about counting with your trigger finger. Like on a 3 round per target stage, like we had in Brazil, count to 3. Don't pull the trigger fast. Let me rephrase that. Count to 3 with your trigger finger as opposed to trying to pull the trigger fast. Okay? Number 125, one of the dumbest things you can do. Treating classifiers different is dumb in your Subarus. Say it with me. It's dumb. Okay? So let's get this straight. I want to do well in the match, so I'm going to do a thing. Whatever it is. I want to do really well on the classifier, so I'm going to do something different than what I want to do on the other thing that I want to go well. Like, what would that be exactly? I don't understand. I want to shoot the match well. We shoot the classifier well. How can those be 2 different things? I kind of just want to leave that one there and let you guys scratch your head a little bit. Whoa, you want to go faster? Okay, well, if that's a good idea, why would you not do it for the whole match? Oh, because I might screw it up. Oh, well, if you might screw it up over here, could you might screw it up over there? Isn't that interesting? It's almost like we should learn what produces our best shooting and do that all the time. Classifiers, field courses, speed shoots, stand and deliver, local match, area match, major match, world shoot. But we can't do it because we don't know what we're doing when we're getting it right because we never let ourselves get it right. Isn't that interesting? Regarding treating classifiers differently, you will get to the class you want to go to when you shoot like that class all the time. And that'll happen when you train. That's simple. If you're trying to shoot A-class scores, it's never going to work. When you're able to do A-class things on demand, which, by the way, the easiest way to get to A-class is to be dry firing at a master class level. Easiest way to get to master class is to be dry firing at a GM level. Easiest way to get to G is to be dry firing the high hit factor. You'll hear about that from one of the imitators for sure, which is fine. Just all you got to do, guys, literally all you have to do when you borrow from me is say my name. That's all you got to do. That's all I'm asking for, right? It's the right thing to do. Notice when I talk about movement, I don't steal it. When I learn something from another instructor, as much as it pains me, I credit that instructor. That's what I do because it's the right thing to do. It's a small industry. People talk, okay? All right, number 126. Touching the stove twice is dumb. If you did something and it didn't go well, why would you do that again? Like, is this communism? Is this socialism? Have we just not gone fast enough correctly? Is that what we haven't done? Like, have we just not ripped our double with the right grip, and that's why we're still having trouble? Like, quit touching the stove. The damn thing's hot. Okay? When you make a mistake, learn from it, do the opposite, go forth, and sin no more. And the demon on your shoulder telling you to hurry up when you get to certain stages, when has he been right? I timed that so well. When the second to last point and I'm almost out of water and I don't really have to pee. This is going great. I would have had to mute myself because that would be the polite thing to do. But you can't pause the program. So here we go. The demon on your shoulder telling you to go fast. Has he ever been right? Or if he has, what percentage of the time has that strategy provided a good result? Yeah, that's what I thought. So the percentage of time that the demon on your shoulder has helped you is this percentage of time you should listen to him. It's a pretty low percentage. Single digits probably. And in those cases, it was probably a high level of confidence, which imagine this. So if we can agree, check this out. This is all coming together. Okay, maybe I'm not so crazy after all. Unpredictable, yes. Crazy, different kind of crazy. So here we go. If we can agree that you shoot better when you have a higher level of confidence. So like we're friends again, right? I won't accuse you of doing dumb stuff anymore. That's cool. So there's that. And we say, okay, we think positive imprints might be a way to increase confidence. Just entertain that. Like it's like if you say something you believe that increases your confidence, no matter what it is, that increases your confidence. So let's just say that's right too. That means we have learned to create confidence on the spot with positive imprints during the stage planning process, which means we now know scientifically how to get greater access to subconscious skill, which now means if we think about something other than the subconscious skill with a high level of positive imprints, we're going to get better performance. Holy moly, it all came together beautifully once again, knocked it out of the park and didn't break the windshield. Awesome. All right, there's one more thing I need you to do. Or stop doing. Okay? We made it to 127. And you know this is the commercial, right? It has to be. So, not letting me save you years of struggle would be dumb. Okay? Joey Sauerland, new shooter, national champion, 2 years. I can do that for anybody that's willing to do the work. Right? Jay Beal, kind of unknown, contender to win nationals, second last place. His was like maybe 3 years since he's been in national competition. Doesn't need to take it. And guys, if you're over 40 or 50, you don't have time to spend 10 years screwing around. Here's how we can help you. If you want to do a live fire class at your range, all you have to do is email me, steve@andersonshooting.com. Tell me you've got a range and you want to do a class. And we'll work it out. That's all you got to do. We have a standard class, which is the basic, hey, I've been in USPSA for a while, I want to get better. There's that one. The advanced class is, hey, I'm looking to get to the M or the G. Okay, I'm already got the fundamentals down. I have a brand new fundamentals class that's for any class. This breaks the sport down into individual skills with a little, everything's got an emphasis on the mental game, but this is a more technical class regarding how to get better at the fundamentals. We can do a partner class with either Joey Sauerland or Keita Bussey. Those are the two instructors that I'm working with right now to do partner classes. And the difference is Joey's method is more instinctual, letting the body figure it out. Keita's method is more scientific because she's done a lot of research. Both approaches are very, very valid. If you're a more technical person, you'd be more comfortable the Keita way because she has names for things and can back them up with science. Joey's way is more like, okay, here's a skill, here's a part-time, let your body figure it out. They're both valid, but they appeal to two different learning styles. So if you want to be more instinctual, the Joey way is better for a partner class. If you are more technically minded and like names for things and scientific stuff, then the Keita way is going to be better for you. Okay? Either one is possible. Just shoot me an email. We can do mental management in the classroom and or on the range. In Brazil, we did 1 day in the classroom and then a full day on the range where we shot a 10-stage match. That is the absolute best format for mental management on the planet. So if you're on the fence, the best way, and I mean the best, there's no better way, is to do 1 day in the classroom and then a full day on the range. That's the best way to learn mental management. Okay? So that's easy to do. Match mode coaching is always available. We can do a Steel Challenge skills class. I am not yet a Grandmaster in Steel Challenge, but I will be soon. Do you doubt me? Okay, IDPA. I've shot one IDPA match in my entire life, but I can work miracles. So if you're an IDPA shooter, mental management is so easy to apply in IDPA. It doesn't get much easier than mental management for IDPA. We also do VIP stuff. If you have more money than time, and you know who you are, and you really need to get good fast, I'm available for what's called VIP training, where it's very intensive training in a very short period of time. So if you have more money than time, let's do like a VIP thing. I'm also available to do major match coaching. It'll be kind of expensive I don't know what you consider to be expensive, but I am available to go actually with you to major matches if my schedule permits and personally coach you. That's something we can do. That would require you to be a mental management graduate, have a journal, and a directive affirmation if you want me to coach your major match for you. And then we just got back from Brazil, going to South Africa. If you're listening to this program anywhere besides America, it is very easy to get me to come to your country. I just need a facilitator. We call it a host or a sponsor. I just need somebody to say, hey, I want Steve Anderson to come to my country and do the thing. And your responsibilities are minimal. You have to make sure that I'm safe. I got a place to stay and I got food to eat and transportation to the range. Very, very simple stuff. And if you speak Portuguese or English, I can put you in touch with two people that have done it, or our Afrikaans, but we wouldn't need those. So very much able and willing to go outside of the country to make all kinds of magic, because that's what we do. Folks, thank you so much for enduring 2.5, maybe a little bit more, roughly 2.5 hours of passion. Remember, I only get passionate because I want to help. I only get passionate because I want to save you years of struggle and quit doing dumb stuff. So the longest podcast we've ever done, 127 dumb things to quit doing, probably was closer to 130. Hope you enjoyed today's program. Please go to andersonshooting.com, upcoming classes, to check out mental management for March, and also the upcoming classes there on the website. Thank you so much for joining us. Till we meet again on the range, on the Zoom, on the phone, late into the wee hours of the night, or anywhere else. Love you, bye, be like me, do what I do, say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Get to work.